Your daily Locked On Blue Jays podcast. Locked On Blue Jays is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On Blue Jays brings you the latest Blue Jays news and analysis and breaks down all of the action. Locked On Blue Jays is everything a Blue Jays fan could want, all in a 30-minute daily podcast. Download Locked On Blue Jays right now on the SXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Blue Jays.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
This slams the ball to right field. Way back. Way gone. Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second. The throw. In time.
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Today, the day after yesterday's 3-run homer by Vladimir Guerrero Jr., it looked like the Blue Jays' losing streak was over. However, late-game heroics from the Red Sox changed that tune. Now Toronto tries to avoid its longest losing stretch in 15 years. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host and producer, and Tom Young is our technical director. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Yarmouth and Middleton, Nova Scotia. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Game 2 of this series brings a major reintroduction to the Blue Jays lineup. For the first time since June 14th, Bo Bichette mans shortstop for Toronto. Bichette is in his familiar defensive position, but moves up in the batting order as he'll lead off tonight. First pitch is next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, streaming on Sportsnet.ca, the Sportsnet app, and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
So Blue Jays fans, you want to know about salsa? Salsa is more than dancing. It's more than music. Salsa is the passion and spirit that is at the core of the beautiful cultures of Latin America. The Blue Jays are bringing salsa to the ballpark on June 27th. Be one of the first 15,000 fans in attendance and receive a Blue Jays chip and dip bowl. Celebrate salsa and create core memories with your Blue Jays. It's salsa night. For tickets, visit bluejays.com. Right, Vladdy?
Everybody salsa.
Dreams will be made
with the first pick
as a new generation of stars enters the NBA.
That guy is going to be a star in this league.
It's the 2024 NBA Draft, and our experts are getting you ready all week long on NBA Radio.
Bronny James out of USC. What is it like to play the game of basketball when your father is one of the all-time greats?
It's tough.
Then hear live coverage from Barclays Center starting Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, followed by every pick starting at 8 p.m. only on NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Scotty Scheffler is the Masters champion.
The biggest events in golf are on PGA Tour Radio, Channel 92 in the car, and on the Sirius XM app.
Bo's such a good hitter, and everyone around the league knows it. He hits these guys fairly well too. So again, it's just nice to have him back. Just kind of you don't want to, he's kind of a veteran now. Those guys have been around for a while. So it's nice to have him back, for a variety of different reasons. Again, you want to be consistent. I think Bo's let off before. He's comfortable doing it. And, if that sticks, for a while or for a short amount of time, we'll see. But, I like him coming up. I like him coming up as many times as you can. And you get into the back end of the bullpen, he has the ability to hit really good pitching, too. So, see how it goes.
Game 2 in Boston about to get underway. Brayan Bello against Kevin Gausman as the Blue Jays look to snap what is their longest losing streak in the careers of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette. But that was manager John Schneider talking about Bichette's return. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Chris, what do you think it means for the Blue Jays to get Bo Bichette back?
I think it's a huge addition to this lineup. The only thing I don't like about Bo coming back is that he's leading off. He's only led off twice this season. He's 2 for 9 in the leadoff spot. I think that him batting second is the best place for him, regardless of how he's doing. I love that he has the protection of Vlad right behind him. He'll see more fastballs. He'll see more strikes. And then because of that, he has the chance to have more success. But I don't love the fact that he's leading off. There's a lot more pressure. There's an added layer of overthinking when you're leading off a ball game like that. I would have loved to seen him in that second spot. But in answer to your question, I think it's a great addition to this lineup.
Bo Bichette returning. Blue Jays looking for a win. Before we can get there, though, let's go back to baseball control. Here's our host today, Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben and Chris. Welcome back, everyone, inside Baseball Control. Hope you're all doing well this evening. Before we check out the Bet365 standings update, let's check in with Blair and Barker on how things are going these days. They had Joe Siddle on to help them discuss this past week.
Can we just say right now that the Blue Jays have sacrificed way too much defense for marginal offensive returns? Like, it's a nice... It'd be nice if all these young guys came up and hit a ton of home runs and everything was good. And yes, Spencer Horwitz is contributing offensively. There's no doubt about that. But, Joe, their defense is awful.
Yeah, it would be nice to say that, Jeff, but I'll also admit that I was the first guy several weeks back that said get anybody up here and in this lineup that can swing the bats because this offense needs help desperately. So I was all for it. But there are consequences. And you're right. It's the old round hole, square peg, or whatever you want to call it. But that's... defense hurt them big time last night, and that's going to happen. And it's not just young players. I mean, we keep saying young players come up, and it's Fenway Park, and there are a lot of people roaring, and the Red Sox are coming back. But we see veteran players make mistakes as well. And, if I were to look at that play 10 more times at third base, I mean, Barger got all turned around. He was in shallow with the left-handed hitter up. He got all turned around. That should be an easy play for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to come over and help him out. Clearly, there was a miscommunication there, and whoever's at fault, I'll be talking to both of them today to see exactly what went down because we couldn't see or hear the communication. And then the ball in center field, Kevin Kiermaier, he took a step back, but he looked like he recovered and was going to make that play that we see him make all the time. And the ball hit off his glove, and he missed it. It's just, and then if you think about all of the moves, we've been through this a million times. We were last night, but even after the game, I'm looking at my scorebook and going over all the different moves. Sooner or later, a pitcher's got to get somebody out.
That is just a snippet of Sportsnet's own Joe Siddle chatting with Blair and Barker earlier today. You can catch the whole conversation on the Blair and Barker podcast feed. Before we get to the lineups, let's check the Bet365 standings update at Bet365. You can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet. You can even make a bet while the game is still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. In the AL East, entering play today, the Yankees, they are 52-28. Orioles are 49-29. The Red Sox are 43-36 after last night. The Rays are 39-40, and the Blue Jays are 35-43, looking to snap a season-worst 7-game losing streak. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk this evening. Blair and Barker at the post-game show. They will take your calls. Jeff will throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. Let's get to the starting lineups. Here's the Blue Jays own. Bo Bichette batting leadoff. He's at shortstop. Spencer Horwitz is batting second. He's at second base. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. batting third. He is at first base. Justin Turner is DHing today. He is batting cleanup. Batting fifth is George Springer. He's in right field. In left field, it's Addison Barger batting sixth. Batting seventh is Danny Jansen. He is catching today. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is batting eighth. He's at third base. Kevin Kiermaier is in center field. He is batting ninth. Kevin Gausman is pitching for the Jays. For the Red Sox, Jarren Duran is in center field. He is batting leadoff. Emmanuel Valdez is batting second. He's at second base. Willier Abreu is in right field, batting third. Batting cleanup is Rafael Devers. He is at third base as usual. Canada's own Tyler O'Neill is in left field. He is batting fifth. Masataka Yoshida is DHing today. He is batting sixth. Smith is batting seventh at first base. Our old pal McGuire batting eighth. He is catching, and Cedar Rafaela is batting ninth. He is at shortstop. Brian Bayo pitches for the Red Sox today. All right, well, we're just about ready to go, so let's get you over to some action. And for the call of today's game, here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much. Show the Blue Jays and Red Sox about to get going in the first inning, which is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Bo Bichette, Spencer Horwitz, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will hit against Brian Bayo, the 25-year-old in his third season. The righty this year, 7-4 with an earned run average just under 5. However, he pitched pretty well against the Blue Jays in his last start, went 6 innings and allowed only 2 runs.
Yeah, he's nasty. He's got that good sinker, 96 miles an hour, and he mixes that with just a slider and a changeup. But I think that when Vlad comes to the plate today, you'll just see a steady diet of those sinkers inside. I think that probably is the game plan for Bayo and the Red Sox against Vlad. But other than that, he's only got 3 pitches. That's rare these days that a starting pitcher only has 3 pitches. Normally you see at least 4, maybe 5, but that fastball is pretty good.
He had a little bit of a cutter last year, and he had a 4-seamer last year, but in line with Craig Breslow and Andrew Bailey. Breslow, the new GM, former Major League pitcher, and Andrew Bailey, an all-star closer in the late 2000s and early 2010s. They came in, kind of revolutionized this Boston team. Everyone's got rid of their 4-seamers, so Bayo is one of those guys. He's simplified his mix. It's been an up-and-down season, but he looked pretty good against Toronto last time out. He's getting his warm-up pitches in right now. Upping behind the plate for Bayo's start today will be Dan Rackley. Chad Fairchild is the crew chief, and he's at first base. Ryan Wills umpires second base, and at third is Paul Clements. Blue Jays about to get going here. Bo Bichette in the leadoff spot. And you had touched on it briefly. Chris, you aren't feeling so great about Bichette at number 1. Why is that?
Well, I think that the most important thing to remember is he's just coming off the IL. He's thinking about a lot of things. He's been struggling for the majority of this season. And then being in that leadoff spot just adds another layer of things that you have to worry about. You have to worry about getting on base. You have to worry about being the catalyst for this team. If he's in that second spot, specifically tonight, he has Vlad to protect him. If I'm Brian Bayo, I would rather Bo Bichette get the fastball or get the pitch over the middle of the plate than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That's just the protection that I like for Bo, especially because he hasn't been performing like he normally does this season, but we'll see what happens.
Bichette stepping into the batter's box, taps the plate twice, and raises the bat above his right shoulder. Bayo is 6'1" righty, bends his knees, into the wind, the pitch. Swing and a miss on a first pitch slider, 0-1. Time of the first pitch today, 7:12 Eastern, 30 degrees Celsius, 86 Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, almost no wind at Fenway Park. Here's the 0-1. A fastball in there, 97 from Bayo, and it's 0-2. Bayo's going to sit around 96 with the heater, so you'll see a lot of that from the right-hander. His 2-strike pitch. Down and away, and a swing and a miss by Bichette. Tried to hold back, but couldn't on the slider. He strikes out in 3 pitches for the first out.
And that slider right there was nasty. That might have been the best slider I've seen him throw. A ton of movement on it. Normally it's more like a big cutter, but that one right there was very nasty from Brian Bayo.
So Bichette back to the dugout, and here comes Spencer Horwitz. Right on left, the first pitch is on the inside edge for strike 1. Blue Jays had their fair share of base runners against Bayo in the first start against him, but only converted 2 runs. They had 7 hits, 2 walks, and 2 hit batters. 0-1 pitch outside. Horwitz certainly contributed to that. He had a hit and a walk in 3 tries against Bayo in the game in Toronto. 1-1. Swing and a fly ball, left field line, slicing into the seats. 1-2. Horwitz will ask for time and take a step out of the box. I mean, on base and Spencer Horwitz seem to be synonymous these days. He is 16 for 40 for a .364 average in 14 games this year. Also has 9 walks. 1-2. In the dirt, did that hit him? I think it did. It hit him on the toe, and they do point down to first. Horwitz leisurely stepped across the plate and leaned down for a moment, giving himself some time here to recover. That's not the way he wanted to get on, but it's another time on base for Horwitz.
Ooh, that actually looked like it might have hurt a little bit. Hit him right on that right, maybe pinky toe or baby toe. He definitely doesn't feel good, that's for sure.
Did get down to first base, though, and here is Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who came up with a big day yesterday. 3 hits, including a 3-run homer, also doubled off the wall. First pitch. Inside, ball 1. No score, 1 out, bases empty, top of the first inning. A peek at first by Bayo, and the pitch. Guerrero takes low and away, 2-0. That was kind of an early take from Vlad. He started standing up like maybe he saw the slider out of the hand or something.
Yeah, it seemed like he was taking all the way. That was a take that you normally don't see from Vlad.
Ahead, though, 2-0, and the pitch. And he's taken all the way again. It hits the knees for strike 1.
Interesting. Usually he's a little bit wilder than this.
Guerrero bouncing around a little bit in the box, gets into his stance, just barely open. The 2-1. Swing and a bouncing ball, backs up Devers at third, picks it, throws to second, 1 over to first, inning ending. Double play. Spencer Horwitz hit by a pitch, but Bayo faces the minimum in a scoreless top of the first. We'll go to the bottom half where Kevin Gausman takes the mound. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2menintruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2menintruck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2menintruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menintruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Springer charges the ball to left field. It's in the seats, and the Blue Jays are on the board.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Kevin Gausman getting ready behind the mound. About to go on his 16th start of the season. Right-hander takes over in this ball game with no score. Bottom of the first. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Gausman 5-6 this year with a .424 earned run average. Will face a ton of lefties, starting with Jarren Duran, the center fielder. The kick and the pitch, it's a fastball outside, ball 1. Duran, a .293 hitter, leads the Red Sox with 23 doubles, 10 triples, also has 7 homers. 1-0 pitch is hit in the air, left center. Kiermaier making a long run over to left, runs in front of Barger and makes the catch, 1 out.
Yeah, you mentioned all the lefties in this lineup. There are 7 lefties in the lineup tonight. That split finger for Kevin Gausman is going to be a big pitch. You have to throw that for strikes. You have to make it look like a fastball. I know I've said that a lot this season, but it has to look like a fastball out of the hands. It has to look like a strike out of the hands. And if not, the Blue Jays are going to be in for a long, long night.
Red Sox had a similar lineup construction when they faced Gausman in his last start. First pitch to Emmanuel Valdez, called strike 1. Oddly enough, in that start, Gausman threw 69 fastballs between his four-seamer and his sinker, which was his most of the year, despite facing so many lefties. 0-1. Bounces the splitter. 1 ball, 1 strike. Red Sox ended up getting to Gausman pretty well. 5 2/3 innings, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. 1-1 pitch. Called strike, fastball at the bottom of the zone, and Gausman gets ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gausman pulls on the rim of his cap and then yanks on the back of it. Comes set, bouncing on his front left foot. Stops and pitches. Just low with the splitter. That's a really good take by Valdez. 2-2.
That was actually a good split finger from Kevin Gausman. Looked like a strike, then fell off that table at the last second. I don't know if Valdez was fooled or not, but it was a good take.
Now the 2-2. Fastball hit off to the left, 95 from Gausman.
Gausman still got that mustache. I know you love that.
I just want what I can't have right now. You know, I can not grow a good mustache. Hand in the air.
You probably could. You just don't want the in-between stage.
Well, that's true. Yeah, mentally I can't. 2-2 again. Fastball yanked in the air to right field. Going back Springer. He's got a beat on it. Makes the catch. And there are 2 outs.
Good fastball in off the plate right there. Jam Valdez just a little bit. It's a weak line drive to right field.
We're here in the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer today. Tom Young, our technical director. Wilyer Abreu hits for the Red Sox. A lefty swinger with 2 outs and the bases empty. No score. Bottom of the first. The pitch. Fastball on the outside edge. Strike 1. Kind of cool. Before this game, Gordon Ramsay threw out the first pitch at Fenway Park. The 0-1. High 1-1.
A little bit random.
Super random.
He is definitely not from Boston.
No. And I don't think he would have had nice things to say if he critiqued his own toss. It was not the greatest first pitch of all time. It was about the happiest I've ever seen him. 1-1. Swing and a miss on a fastball, 1-2.
You should go critique the spread in the locker room. See what he has to say about that.
Tough to critique Gausman so far, though. 2 flyouts already, and now ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes against Abreu, who just asked for time, steps back in, and is looking out at Gausman from an open stance. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 95 at the top of the zone, and that will do it for the first inning. Gausman pitches a 1-2-3 first, sends us to the second in a scoreless game. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and across the Sportsnet radio network.
Hear every pick of the NBA Draft on Sirius XM.
His ceiling could be as high as anybody's in this draft.
For 60 players, it's the culmination of a lifetime of work.
Jalen drives right down the middle, throws it down.
And for 30 teams, it's the hope that they've found who's next.
The Boston Celtics select Jason Tatum.
The NBA Draft begins tomorrow night at 8 Eastern and continues Thursday afternoon at 4 on NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Aaron Judge drills a 3-run home run.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to our all-time fantasy baseball draft to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts. Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the second inning presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Justin Turner leading off against Brian Bayo takes strike one. And Brian Bayo is ahead. No balls and one strike on a sinker. Turner, Springer, Barger hitting this inning for the Blue Jays. 0-1 pitch is hit on the ground, foul off the front foot of Turner. 0-2. The red-haired Turner was back in his old confines, played for the Red Sox last year. And yesterday, had a pretty good day. Had an RBI single and a walk. Also a pair of strikeouts. 0-2. Just outside. Tough take. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bayo winds and delivers. Bounce the slider. 2-2.
And like we mentioned yesterday, Justin Turner had a pretty good season last year with the Red Sox. 276, 23 homers, 96 runs batted in. So he is very comfortable at Fenway.
Now the 2-2. Turner checks his swing on a pitch way inside. Appeal to first, and they deem he did not go around. That's Chad Fairchild, the crew chief at first. It's a full count.
That's a tough sinker inside. Brian Bayo loves to throw that sinker on the inside part of the plate, off the plate inside.
Now the 3-2. Rolled foul off to the right. Bayo just threw the changeup there. He tends to play his sinker off his changeup, which move the same way, but have about a 10-mile-per-hour separation in velocity. His 3-2 again. Turner hits it foul off to the right, this time a fastball on the outside edge.
And if your arm speed looks like a fastball and it comes out of the hand like a fastball and it's 10 miles an hour different, that is a devastating pitch. And Brian Bayo's got a very good difference in velocity.
3-2 once more is down and away, ball 4. Slider outside, Turner with a leadoff walk.
What a great at bat right there. Took some tough pitches, fouled off some tough pitches, and finally takes his base on balls, and he's standing at first base with nobody out.
That'll bring up George Springer. Turner on first, no score. Top of the second, I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Right on right, the pitch from Bayo. Hit foul behind home plate. 0-1. Tough day for Springer yesterday, 0 for 4. Batting 188 on the season, 9 doubles and 5 homers. The 0-1. Called strike, and it's 0-2. Bayo, a 25-year-old from the Dominican Republic, signed with the Red Sox in 2017. In the set, and his pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, puts 97 past Springer for his second strikeout of this start.
That seemed like Springer was thinking something off speed there. Way behind that fastball from Bayo, up in the zone. Yeah, he just blew it by him. Frustrated face right there, walking back to the dugout.
The book on Bayo is that the changeup is the biggest weapon. Right on left, his first pitch to Addison Barger with one out and a runner on first. Swing and a hot shot, diving stop at first by Smith. He caught it midair and he taps the first base bag for a line drive. Double play. Blue Jays with a leadoff walk, but again, Bayo manages to face the minimum. Help from Smith on a highlight reel defensive play at first. No score, middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
We're two men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think two men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're two men and a truck.
Two men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Kikuchi has struck out 4 of the last 6.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays baseball. Bottom of the second inning in Boston. No score. Toronto in Boston. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Appreciate you spending your Tuesday evening with us. Kevin Gausman strides out for his second inning of work, and he has a tough task as he starts with Rafael Devers. Slugging, left-handed hitting, third baseman at the plate. And Gausman's pitch. Fastball low, 1-0. Devers came up with 3 hits yesterday, including a 2-run homer. Adding 282, team lead with 15 homers, tied with Tyler O'Neill. Also tied for the team lead in RBIs with 41. He hits the 1-0 pitch high down the left field line, but out of play. 1-1.
And now that you have that strike on him, you can expand. You can throw that split down in the zone. You can even throw a back foot slider. I don't know if Kevin Gausman has the ability to do that to Rafael Devers, but
just challenges him with a fastball, big hack and a miss. It's 1-2.
That's not the pitch I would have thrown, a fastball right down the middle, but he blew it by him.
It did look like in the first the Red Sox were really sitting on splitters. Gausman blew a handful of fastballs by guys. 1-2. Goes with the splitter, but bounces it down and in.
Yeah, again, that splitter would look like a ball out of the hand. So especially a guy like Rafael Devers, he's not going to offer at that pitch. If he knows it's a ball out of the hand, he's not going to swing.
Devers with his knees bent a ton, bat high above his left shoulder, swings at the 2-2 and vaults it to right center. That ball is gone. Solo home run way into the seats for Devers, and the Red Sox are up 1-0.
Well, I can tell you this, Rafael Devers might miss one fastball right down the middle, but he will not miss 2. That was another fastball over the heart of the plate, and Devers absolutely smoked it to right field.
467 feet for Devers, who hits just his 3rd home run in the last 17 games, all 3 of which have come against the Toronto Blue Jays. Boston on the board. Devers going through the dugout in a high five tunnel as Tyler O'Neill's about to step up. Right on right matchup for the first time today for Gausman. First pitch to O'Neill is called a ball. Looked like it might have hit the plate at the knees. It's 1-0. So O'Neill now a homer behind Devers for the team lead. 15 on the year for Tyler O'Neill, who's batting .261. Hails from Burnaby, BC. 1-0 pitch inside. By the way, there's still more than 100 early bird prizes up for grabs during Jays Care's Split the Pot raffle. Get your tickets right now, and you could also be one of 10 winners splitting the grand prize, which is over $950,000 and growing. Go to bluejays.com/5050 from Ontario or Nova Scotia. 2-0 pitch hit foul down the left field line by O'Neill. It's 2-1.
Do you know if those dugouts have changed at all?
Since 1912?
Yeah.
I think since 1912, yeah. They did a big overhaul in like the 30s of the ballpark.
Because they look tiny.
Yeah,
when the camera was following Devers through the dugout.
2-1 pitch low, 3-1. And I don't know the exact year, but I'm guessing 20-ish years ago they put a front fence in front because, you know, that wasn't a thing for most, if not all, dugouts before. But not much has changed at Fenway Park, the oldest park in baseball. 3-1. Fouled off of his own leg by O'Neill, who's down on one knee. Pops back up quick, 3-2.
That was a fastball about 2 balls off the plate inside, and Tyler O'Neill just fouls it off his front leg. He's bending, shaking it out. Probably didn't feel too good.
At least he's got about as much muscle to protect it as anyone in baseball.
I don't know if his kneecap has
That's
muscle.
true,
It might. It might. If you're Tyler O'Neill, it might.
3-2. Fastball popped up. Back of first base. Guerrero backpedaling onto the right field grass. Still backpedaling, and he pops out of his glove as he spills over. O'Neill is charging from second to third. Throw from Springer is late. And that'll likely go down as an error, as defensive miscues have been all over the place for the Blue Jays in the last week and a half.
Well, he was backpedaling early on when that pop-up was at its highest. He was backpedaling, and I was wondering if George Springer was going to call him off at any point, and he kept backpedaling and backpedaling and backpedaling, and finally he fell back, and that ball hits off the heel of his glove. That's a ball that the right fielder needs to take.
And that is just another killer play for the Blue Jays. It's early in this game, but they've handed away a lot of outs recently. First pitch to Masataka Yoshida. Popped up back of third. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa reaches out and hits off the netting. So it's 0-1.
The biggest part of that miscue right there from Vlad is that there's nobody out. And now Tyler O'Neill is standing on third base with nobody out.
They're still figuring out a ruling. That's got to be an error. I mean, that ball is caught 99 times of 100 by someone.
Yeah, but George Springer has to take control there.
The 0-1. Down and in, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And I know he knows that. George Springer is one of the best, but that's just one of those, like you said, 1 out of 100 where the communication was lost. And I'm assuming that the ball just kept carrying, and both of those guys didn't realize that it would do that.
Not a ton of wind at Fenway tonight. 1-1 pitch is lined to right field, a base hit. In to score O'Neill. Springer cuts it off in the right field corner. Yoshida is going for second, and he slides in safe with an RBI double. 2-0 Red Sox.
And just like that error from Vlad, that miscue comes back to haunt the Blue Jays and Kevin Gausman. Now there's a runner on second, still nobody out.
By the way, they've ruled it a hit for Tyler O'Neill.
That's not a hit.
Take that as you will. He's probably the first guy ever to triple to first base, but
I don't know about that. But he's definitely one of the few guys that have done that.
So that wonderful decision also makes it an earned run against Kevin Gausman there. Now there's a runner on second, nobody out. 2-0 Red Sox. Bottom of the second, here's Dominic Smith. Veteran left-handed hitter. Holds the bat close to him, now rested on his left shoulder, pops it up toward the sky. The pitch from Gausman. Low and away, ball 1. Three straight extra base hits to start this inning, technically, for the Red Sox. And that's provided them a 2-0 lead. 1-0. Hit in the air, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Smith, a .221 hitter this year. Faces a 1-1 and swings and misses at a good splitter to make it 1-2.
Yeah, that was a good one right there. That was his best one of the night. Throw another one of those down in the zone, and Smith will probably swing over the top of it.
Gausman looks at second at Masataka Yoshida. And the 1-2. Bounced the splitter that time, picked by Jansen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Blue Jays in their road gray uniforms and pants today. Blue caps. Red Sox in the home whites. 2-2 pitch. Hit in the air. Right field. Springer going back at the track. Leaps and makes the catch. Tosses it back into the infield. Yoshida was tagging wisely from second. He'll advance to third. A good play by Springer, but a runner 90 feet away from the plate now with 1 out.
That was a great play from George Springer out in right field. I don't know if that would have been a home run, but it would have hit that wall, that short wall out there. He makes a little leap, catches that baseball, and makes a good throw back into second base, but not in time to get the runner from second to third.
And that means that the infield draws in for the Blue Jays. They've allowed 2 this inning. So it's 2-0 Red Sox. 1 out, bottom of the second. Yoshida on third. Reese McGuire at the plate. Gausman's first pitch is cut on and missed by the left-handed hitting catcher, 0-1.
I think this is one of those times, even though it's early in this ball game, the Blue Jays are in a position where if I'm Kevin Gausman, I'm trying to strike out Reese McGuire here. I don't want him putting the ball in play. I want to get the second out without anything happening.
0-1 pitch is a splitter down low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And I think, judging by the first 2 pitches from Kevin Gausman, he's thinking the same thing as well.
Gausman has 1 strikeout so far today. Got Wilyer Abreu on a fastball to end the first. The 1-1. Down low with another splitter. Tripled up on the pitch. McGuire takes it again. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I think the only hittable pitch that I would throw in this at bat is probably an elevated fastball because he'll pop it up. That's the only thing that he can do with that pitch.
Gausman sets, kicks, delivers. And it is a high fastball. Good call. It's popped up foul behind the plate. 2-2.
Yeah, I know the plan now. They don't want Reese McGuire doing anything with that baseball. They want him to swing and miss.
So you think they go back up there or down with the splitter? What are you looking for?
Well, I think an elevated fastball here would be the safest. His split finger has been a little bit off tonight. Hasn't been the best split finger he's had.
2-2 splitter is bounced just past the mound, charging in Bichette. Gloves, throws over to first. Runner couldn't go anywhere, and Yoshida, first play since returning from the injured list for Bo Bichette. He made it well, and there are 2 outs.
And even that there where it wasn't a very well hit ball. It was a little dribbler to Bo at shortstop, but something can happen. Bo can throw the ball away. He can bobble the baseball. Something can happen. That's why I say a strikeout or a pop-up are the 2 things that I want to happen in that situation.
Gausman probably left that splitter a little higher than he meant to, although it was off the plate outside. He'll step off now as Cedon Rafaela steps in. Masataka Yoshida on third. 2-0 Boston. 2 outs, bottom of the second. Infield is now back once again. Shifted to the pull for the right-handed hitter. And the pitch. Inside with a fastball. No, it's called a strike. 0-1.
And it's also ironic that I say a pop-up is safe because we've seen 2 pop-ups drop over the last 24 hours.
What is safe now? Pop-up dropping in this inning counted as a triple, and represents the second run for the Red Sox. 0-1 is a splitter downstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Second straight started short for Rafaela yesterday. He reached twice, was hit by a pitch, and had an infield single. 1-1. Lined softly up the middle, gloved by Horwitz, who transfers and throws to first to end the inning. 3 hits, pot 2 runs for the Red Sox, including the Rafael Devers solo shot. They leave Yoshida on third, but it's 2-0 Boston as we go to the third inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
When Blue Jays starter Kevin Gausman is on the mound, you hear a lot of pops at Rogers Center. The pop of the ball hitting the catcher's mitt. The pop of the crowd as they cheer on another Gausman strikeout. But most importantly for Goss, the pop of his bubble gum.
Swing and a miss. Got him on the splitter again. One of the best at his craft.
Gausman loves his gum. So be one of the first 15,000 fans on Wednesday, July 3rd and get your Kevin Gausman bubblegum bobblehead. Get your tickets at BlueJays.com.
We're 2 men in a truck. The movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm
Hey, this is Kevin Kiermaier. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Every day I'm hustling.
The third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Yarmouth and Middleton, Nova Scotia. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. Canada's #1 rust protection. 2-0 Red Sox. Top of the third. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Danny Jansen takes strike 1 from Brian Bayo. Jansen, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and Kevin Kiermaier hit this inning for the Blue Jays. 0-1. Down and away. Toronto without a hit today. 2 base runners, but they've hit into 2 double plays. One a little bit unfortunate. Addison Barger hit into a line drive double play last inning. 1-1. Jansen smokes a ball down the left field line. That's a fair ball bouncing into the corner. Jansen around first. He's headed into second with a leadoff double.
That was a good piece of hitting right there. Goes down and gets that changeup from Bayo. Drills it off the front foot into left field. That's got to feel good for him. 13th double of the season.
That snaps an 0 for 13 for Jansen. He had been hitless over the last entire week. Last it was June 17th. Against the Red Sox in the opener of the series in Toronto, and he just kept that one fair. Here's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa now. He's had about an opposite week. He's riding a 9-game hit streak. Bayo from the stretch, the pitch. IKF shows Bond and puts down a good one, third baseline. Charging in, Devers fumbles with it, and everybody is safe. Jansen at third, Kiner-Falefa at first. Devers saw it coming and charged early, but he couldn't make the transfer.
And I don't know if that was a true sack. It kind of looked like it was one of those bunts that was in between a sack and maybe bunting for a base hit. But Devers has to come up with that baseball. That isn't that tough of a play for a good defender like him, but he just bobbles it, and now the Blue Jays are cooking.
That brings up Kevin Kiermaier with first and third and nobody out. Toronto trying to respond to the 2-run bottom of the second by the Red Sox. 2-0 Boston leads. Bayo staring at third from the stretch. Peeks at first. And now the pitch home. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Kiermaier looking down to third base for signs. was asked to sacrifice yesterday in the 9th inning, but didn't get the bunt down with Stuart Baroa at first. 0-1. Foul tip the changeup into the glove. 0-2.
That was kind of a strange play last night. Kevin Kiermaier trying to sack bunt, and Baroa already had the bag stolen. Didn't really understand that one.
John Schneider talked about it. I'll mention what he said in a sec, but first and third and the 0-2 outside. So Schneider was asked about it because honestly, at least I did. I thought Kiermaier was trying to bunt for a hit. It looked like he was throwing the bat out kind of late. He was asked to sacrifice, and Baroa, who was on the bases for the first time in his major league career, ran when actually he wasn't supposed to. Turn and throw over to first. IKF dives back in. And it wasn't like the Blue Jays gave him the green light right away. He was, they said, supposed to get bunted to second, and they liked against Kenley Jansen the steal to third a little bit better. But Baroa took off early, and more importantly, Kiermaier couldn't get the bunt down twice. 1-2. Check swing, pitch inside, appeal to third, no swing, says Paul Clemens. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The thing that I don't understand about it is Kevin Kiermaier is a very good bunter. He squares around and is one of the few guys in this league that can sack bunt, that can bunt for a base hit. You see that guy stealing, and Baroa had a great jump. You pull back and you let him swipe that bag. That's the only thing that I'm saying about it.
2-2. Swing and a ground ball, hook to second, past the glove of Valdez into right field. Jansen scores. IKF trying to go first to third. The throw sails out of play, and everyone moves up 90 feet. IKF will score. Kiermaier into second. It's the Red Sox turn to make a couple miscues in the field, and it's a 2-2 game.
And how about that? You put the bat on the baseball, and things can happen. The Red Sox making a couple blunders there, first at second base, and then that throw from right field that sailed over the Blue Jays dugout. How about the Blue Jays catching some breaks right now?
And Wilyer Abreu unloaded that throw from right field. That went way close, and even frankly, that ground ball probably should have been picked up at second by Valdez, who was kind of already sliding into a spin to maybe throw it over to second base. Now the umpire's conferencing here, but it seemed more than established that, first of all, Kiermaier obviously is going to be at second. He was at first when that ball was thrown away, but that IKF was at third by the time that throw got out of play, and he should be home.
Yeah, I think things will stay the same right now.
And they're going to give Kiermaier third base on the play. When it's from ball and play, it's actually 180 feet you get to advance, rather than if a pitcher were to turn and toss it out of play. So Kiermaier on a ground ball gets all the way to third, and both runners on base score, and there's still nobody out.
That was one of the worst throws I've seen in a long time. If there was no net above that dugout, it would have been in the first row above that Blue Jays dugout. Nowhere near where he was trying to throw that baseball.
So now Bo Bichette up, nobody out, runner on third, the pitch. Called strike one. And just to clarify, if it's a throw from the outfield, you get 2 bases. And that was from the outfield, and it almost landed in the second deck. And now Bo Bichette takes another pitch. This one down and in, and it's 1-1.
The reason why I laughed so loud is because I was anticipating you saying the second row, not the second deck.
I mean, that was a wild throw. Infield in, the 1-1 misses outside, 2-1. Bichette, playing in his first game since June 14th, was on the injured list with a calf strain. 2-2 game. Bayo has returned to the windup with just a runner on third. 2-1 pitch. Bichette checks his swing on a changeup low, appeal down to third. They say went around. It's 2-2.
And the infield is in, so they're trying to cut this run off from third base right now.
A lot of room in between the infielders and the outfielders. Bayo in the wind, the pitch. Just outside at 98. Tough to lay off from Bichette. It's a full count.
He looked pretty comfortable taking that pitch, didn't he? He might have been fooled, but that was a pretty comfortable take right there from Bo Bichette.
3 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Payoff pitch. Down and away, ball 4. Bichette tosses the bat away. He's on first. And 4 straight Blue Jays have reached to start this inning.
That was a great at-bat. Took a couple of tough fastballs, 97 and 98, just off the plate outside. Now the Blue Jays have runners at first and third and still nobody out.
And Spencer Horwitz coming up now. Before he can, Andrew Bailey will go out to the mound, a 2-time All-Star for the Oakland Athletics. He's going to talk to Brian Bayo. Gives us a second to look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every plate. Your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. Over in Kansas City, Copa America action right now. Canada taking on Peru in their second game of the group stage, and the Canadians up 1-0 thanks to Jonathan David's 74th minute goal. Canada's been up a man since Miguel Araujo was shown a red card on a VAR check in the 59th minute. Now the 88th minute, Canada's still up 1-0. Spencer Horwitz at the plate, first and third, no outs, and the first pitch slider misses below the knees, 1-0.
Everybody's been so concerned about the Euro Cup, but you are locked into Copa America.
Canada's better than they've ever been. Yeah. It's a good time. Corners in right now for the Red Sox. Middle is back. Dominican righty Bayo kicks and fires. Called strike. 98 right on the inner and absolute bottom part of the zone.
That's unhittable right there. Can't really do much with that pitch.
Horwitz hit by a pitch in the first. 1-1. Outside with the changeup. Mentioned last inning, the changeup is known to be the bread and butter pitch for Brian Bayo. In fact, in 2021 when he was coming up, noted writer Peter Gammons was told by a Red Sox front office member that his changeup was the best they had seen since Pedro Martinez. 2-1 pitch, called strike, a good fastball that makes it 2-2.
I don't know about that, Peter Gammons.
Well, no, it wasn't him. Someone said
sorry,
that to him.
Sorry.
Someone said that to him. And this is when he was a prospect, in fairness. People get a little lofty with prospects. Bichette on first, Kiermaier on third. No outs. 2-2 pitch is low with that change. 3-2. Bayo, though, really having his toughest year so far as a Red Sox out of the 3. But they've put a lot of confidence in the starter. Given an extension before this season. It was in spring training, actually, when the Red Sox were playing their series in his native Dominican Republic. They signed him to a 6-year, $55 million contract. A peek at first, and the 3-2. Upstairs, ball 4. Horwitz tosses away the bat. He's got a walk, and the Blue Jays have loaded the bases.
And here comes Vlad with the bases loaded and still nobody out.
And they just used a mound visit, so Bayo's going to have to go right after Guerrero here. No break.
I think that's a good sign by the Red Sox, though. 6 years, $55 million. I would have given him that.
It's, you know, he doesn't have to be an absolute stud for you to get good value out of that deal. First pitch to Guerrero. Downstairs, ball 1. But he does have to get back in the zone here. He has nowhere to put Vlad.
You can bet that he's coming with something over the heart of the plate here. I don't know what kind of pitch it's going to be, but it's going to be in that strike zone.
Guerrero has 5 career grand slams, 1 this year. 1-0. Swing and a fly ball, right field, and out of play to the right. Vlad turning his head to the side a bit. That was a pretty middle fastball at 98.
Yeah, if he was selling out on a fastball there, that would have been another 470-foot shot. A little bit behind that fastball from Bayo.
Bayo leans forward, now leans back, waves off a sign, nods, and he'll step off. Kind of odd to see a guy step off from the windup, but there are the bases loaded right now, and he could use that to reset the clock.
I'll tell you what, it's hard to step off from the windup Because you could step off with the wrong foot. You have to tell yourself before you step off what foot to step off with.
1-1 pitch outside, 2-1.
I've seen a lot of box guys that step off, righties that step off with the left foot by accident when you're supposed to step off with the right foot. I've seen that a lot of times.
Mayo trying to avoid that with the bases loaded and no outs. 2-2 game, the 2-1 pitch. Down and away, ball 3. 2 big misses with sliders. And Guerrero almost certain to get a strike here with the bases loaded.
Well, I can't wait to see this swing right here. If it's a fastball over the heart of the plate, Vlad will take a hack.
That 471-foot blast yesterday, the longest of his career. 3-1 pitch. Swing and a fly ball center field. Racing back, Duran looking out at the triangle. It bangs off the wall. Kiermaier scores. Bichette around third. He scores. Going around third base is Horwitz, and they will hold him there. But it's a 2-run double for Guerrero and a 4-2 Blue Jays lead.
Well, if I was a betting man, I would have bet that was going to be the result. A fastball right down the middle. Vlad takes a great swing at it, drills it off that deep wall in center field, 420 some odd feet away. And he's telling the boys in the dugout, let's go, let's go.
6 straight have reached for the Blue Jays to start this inning. They've scored 4 runs in the frame. But you have to keep adding on, as they learned yesterday, squandering a 6-2 lead. Already the bullpen up for the Red Sox. Better rested than yesterday when they had almost no one, but still a little bit taxed. First pitch to Justin Turner. Diving stop at first by Dominic Smith. Slides to it, throws out Turner, but a run comes in to score Horwitz, and up to third Guerrero. Another really good play at first by Dominic Smith, but it's an RBI ground up for Turner and a 5-2 Blue Jays lead.
Yeah, I'm okay with that result right there. Put the bat on the baseball, score a run. That's the only thing that you're trying to do right there if you're Justin Turner. A base hit is great, but just score that run from third base. And now an even bigger at bat right now with 1 out and a runner on third base.
5-2 Toronto. George Springer comes up to the plate. Struck out on a sinker in the second. The pitch inside, started the hands, but yanks him back out of the way. 1-0. It has been a tough last stretch for Springer. 6 for his last 59. Infield in, and back in the stretch. Bayo's 1-0. Swing and a fly ball right center field. Duran back at the wall. It's gone into the Red Sox bullpen. Home run George Springer, and Toronto's up 7-2.
That's got to feel great for George Springer. He took that pitch that was on the outside part of the plate and didn't try to do too much with it. Just went with it and drilled it into that bullpen in right field. Don't look now, but the Blue Jays are winning 7-2.
A huge swing for Springer, who gladly gets formal with the home run jacket, walking back into the dugout. The Blue Jays have come up with 5 hits and 7 runs in this third inning. Ryan Bayo's day is done with 1 out in the third. Greg Weissert, the righty, will take over for Boston. 7-2 is the lead. Let's go to baseball control. Here's our host today, Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. Before we check the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk this evening. Blair and Barker have the post-game show. They will take your calls after this one is in the books. All right, let's check out the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. The second round of MLB All-Star voting is in. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. actually trailing Ryan Mountcastle for AL first baseman now, so the gap is still pretty close. So if you do want to ensure he or any other Blue Jays make it to the All-Star game in Texas or the middle of July, that's next month, you can vote at bluejays.com/vote. We got some big news from the Hockey Hall of Fame today. They announced the class of 2024. Shea Weber, Pavel Datsyuk, Jeremy Roenick, Natalie Darwitz, Chrissy Wendell Pohl, Colin Campbell, and David Poyle, all the newest Hall of Famers. Weber and Datsyuk were both first balloters. Roenick, meanwhile, making it in his 12th year of eligibility. Darwitz and Wendell Pohl were both staples of the American women's national team. Darwitz playing in 3 Olympics and 8 World Championships. Wendell Pohl playing in 2 Olympics and 6 World Championships, and was the captain of the Americans team in 2006. And as Ben mentioned earlier, the Copa America tournament underway as well. Canada taking on Peru. Canada leading 1-0 in Kansas City thanks to Jonathan David. They're just approaching the end of injury time, but Canada still leading 1-0 with a couple minutes to go. It's the first ever goal under new head coach Jesse Marsh, and they'll wrap up group play against Chile in Orlando on Saturday, June 29th. Blue Jays Baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. The Blue Jays have a touchdown plus the extra point in the third. They've scored 7 runs this inning. Only 1 out recorded by Brian Bayo in the third before he is knocked out of the game. 7-2 the Toronto lead as former Yankee Greg Weissert enters for the Red Sox. Addison Barger, the only guy to not hit yet for Toronto this inning, is up. Weissert, who faces away from the plate into the stretch of the pitch, and it's called strike one.
And it's been a long time since I've seen George Springer smiling, laughing, high-fiving in that dugout. It's a good feeling right now for him.
His 2-run homer knocked Bayo out. Next pitch by Weissert, grounded foul, 0-2. Springer with a big hug with Bo Bichette after he hit that homer. Now the 0-2 pitch is chopped left side, high bouncer, speared by the third baseman Devers near short, and he throws out Barger. 2 outs. Greg Weissert making his 34th appearance of the season. A 2.70 earned run average. 37 strikeouts to 8 walks in under 34 innings of work. Righty acquired by the Red Sox in the Alex Verdugo trade from the Yankees. His pitch to Danny Jansen. Down and away, ball 1.
Threw that fastball with a big grunt. 94 miles an hour off the plate.
He's almost a sidewinder, definitely does not come over the top. 1-0 is sliced foul, 1-1. Throws a sharp sinker like you mentioned. Sinker and four-seamer are going to be 94, 95. Has a sweeper in the high 70s, also a changeup and slider in the mid 80s. 1-1 pitch. Jansen hits it in the air, right field, playable for Wilyer Abreu. He circles under it and makes the catch to end the inning. The Blue Jays come up with 7 runs on 5 hits, and they lead the Red Sox 7-2, middle of the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
SiriusXM Fight Nation is hitting the road with a stop in Las Vegas for International Fight Week. Beginning June 27th at 12 Eastern, SiriusXM Fight Nation will broadcast live from UFC X all week long ahead of UFC 303. Catch MMA Today and more special programming direct from Sin City.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Your home for the best UFC 303 coverage is SiriusXM Fight Nation Channel 156.
They had to make that deal in order to be a championship contender.
Basketball's business season is officially underway. And NBA Radio has you covered with wall-to-wall free agency action starting Sunday.
Blockbuster deal. It's a 3-team trade.
We're breaking down every rumor and every signing.
That would be a huge pickup.
The NBA free agency free-for-all starts Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern.
It's madness. It's chaos.
Don't miss a moment on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Titans of Europe are gathered once again for the Euros.
Cristiano Ronaldo for Portugal.
Soccer's best, assembled to represent their nation.
Oh my word, from Kylian Mbappe. And it's another magnificent goal for France.
Trying to reach the pinnacle of European soccer.
Italy are champions of Europe.
Hear the top matches and expert analysis from Euro 2024 all month long on Fox Sports 83 and Sirius XM FC 157. Or listen anytime on the all-new Sirius XM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
The Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Collect air miles on your next home improvement buys at Timber Mart. And hey, make it a double play by scoring even more air miles when you purchase with your Timber Mart credit card. For details, visit Timber Mart, Canada's building center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bottom of the third, 7-2 Blue Jays over the Red Sox. The pitch to Jarren Duran is over the plate for strike one. Well, a very different situation than when Kevin Gausman was last on the mound. Second ended with a bit of a sour taste. There was a dropped pop-up and 2 runs scored by Boston. 0-1 pitch is hit well to center field on a line. Diving Kiermaier makes the play in right center. A nice catch for the first out.
Well, that was almost identical to the one that he misplayed last night. The one that hit the heel of his glove, diving in. But this time, Kiermaier making a nice play for Kevin Gausman.
And all of a sudden, the feeling on this game, I mean, obviously, when you score 7 runs in 1 inning, it's changed dramatically. The Blue Jays certainly know that they have not finished the job. They had a 6-2 lead yesterday and didn't win, but up 7-2 early.
He almost overran that one, seeing the slow motion replay.
First pitch to Emmanuel Valdez, outside 1-0. It's getting way in the weeds, but yesterday, he dived so much. We have pretty good metrics on how far he usually dives. Yesterday, he dove almost a foot further than he usually does for that ball. Maybe amped up because of the situation, and it hit him on the forearm. Today, he makes the play, and the next pitch from Gausman is a strike. It evens up the count on Valdez, now 1-1. Next pitch. Hit hard on the ground through the whole right side. Into right field, a base hit.
Valdez doing a good job going down and getting that splitter right below the strike zone. Not a terrible pitch, but Valdez with the good piece of hitting right there.
So Gausman will work with a runner on now. 1 out, bottom of the third. Did a good job last inning after some of the miscues. There was Masataka Yoshida on second with nobody out, and he prevented Yoshida from scoring. First pitch to Wilyer Abreu, outside 1-0. Definitely, though, look at this matchup and wonder if the Red Sox are going to try and run a lot on Kevin Gausman. Valdez on first has 1 stolen base in 49 previous games. 1-0 pitch, called strike, 1-1. Gausman, though, has allowed 14 of 15 potential base stealers to steal successfully, and his 14 stolen bases allowed is 3rd most in Major League Baseball. 1-1. Swing and a looper off the end of the bat into the seats, 1-2.
Well, the problem with Kevin Gausman's delivery is it's slow, and he doesn't really have much of a slide step. I've seen him slide step a few times this season, but for the most part, it's that big leg lift, the slow arm, and that obviously makes it easier to steal second base.
Jansen peeking at first. Now the 1-2. Swing and another one hit foul in the air into the seats.
But I think in a situation like this, if I'm Kevin Gausman, I'm more concerned about the guy at the plate. I'm more concerned with throwing strikes, making good pitches, and not really about being too quick to home plate and kind of stopping the running game.
I mean, when you look at the guys around Gausman with stolen bases allowed, a lot of them are actually the top pitchers in the game. Corbin Burns has allowed more stolen bases than anyone. Logan Webb is the only other guy who's given up more than Gausman. 1-2. High fastball, and he gets him on a swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2 strikeouts today for Gausman, both on high fastballs against Wilyer Abreu. Now 2 outs. Here comes Rafael Devers.
That was nasty right there. Hit the target perfectly. You could see that elevated glove from Danny Jansen, and Kevin Gausman obviously not worried about the run at first. He just hit that target perfectly.
That was his hardest fastball of the day, 96. Devers homered off Gausman in the second inning. 7-2 Blue Jays, and a first pitch splitter misses down and away. Devers now 8 for 28 against Gausman. 4 doubles and a homer. 1-0. Just misses down and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Gausman over 50 pitches. Last one was his 51st with 2 outs and a runner on. Home half of the third inning, trying to strand Abreu at first. 2-0 pitch. Fastball on the outside edge. Strike one. Devers looking up to the sky. I think if he could do it over, he wants to swing at that.
Well, what do you think you're getting right there? It's a 2-0 count. Blue Jays are up by 5. There's no way Kevin Gausman wants to walk you.
He asks for time, and he's still shaking his head as he steps back in the box. The big lefty swinger. Two-one. Hit on the ground and speared at second by Horwitz. He gets up, throws to first, and ends the inning. Gausman scatters the one single by Emmanuel Valdez and keeps the Blue Jays up 7-2 after 3 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Baseball fans, no matter who your team is, the Believe Podcast Network has you covered. Every team, every topic, everywhere. The most passionate fans and the most knowledgeable former players bring you the in-depth analysis you crave with podcasts dedicated to your team and your team only. Search Believe right now on the SiriusXM app and download your team's podcast today. That's BLEAV. Every team, everywhere.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
The final major championship of 2024 is coming, and you can hear all the action on SiriusXM.
Up toward the hole, has a chance, and it goes! Rory McIlroy with an overhand fist bump!
Coverage of the 152nd Open Championship begins Monday, July 15th, with play-by-play beginning Thursday, July 18th on Open Radio.
He's holding the big one! Brian Harman is the champion golfer of the year!
Hear the 2024 Open Championship on Channel 92 when you're in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the 4th inning, presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Josh Winkowski takes over for the Red Sox, looking to provide length here as his outing starts in the top of the 4th. It's 7-2 Blue Jays. Winkowski winds glove overhead, the pitch to IKF. Called strike one. Right-hander called up yesterday after the Red Sox had used basically their entire pen multiple days in the Cincinnati series. Misses low, 1-1. Didn't get into yesterday's game, but takes over now, and he's been a guy who started for the Red Sox in 2022, has been a length reliever last 2 seasons. 1-1. IKF rips it foul, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And this season, it's Winkowski's 12th appearance, an earned run average of .333, a 1-1 record in 24 1/3 innings pitched. Last time he pitched in the majors was May 8th. The wind and the 1-2. Outside.
And I'd imagine that the Red Sox would want him to go probably 3 innings today. Something that he's done before, obviously, if not in the big leagues, in the minor leagues.
Longest he's gone this year is 4 1/3. 2-0 pitch. Called strike 3. Fastball right on the outside edge. IKF knew it. Turned early and walked back to the dugout. 1 out. Maybe not these Blue Jays, but the Blue Jays organization knows Winkowski pretty well. He was a Blue Jays farmhand from 2016 to 2019. Toronto drafted him 15th rounder in 2016. His first pitch to Kevin Kiermaier is hit on the ground softly near short, backhanded, falling away by Rafaela, but not in time. Tried to make a Jeter-like throw, did the Red Sox shortstop, but the speed of Kiermaier way too much for Rafaela to make that play. It's an infield hit.
Yeah, Rafaela was kind of smirking after he made that throw. No chance to get Kiermaier at first base. That was a slow roller, a broken bat in the hole on the left side, and as soon as that happens, it's almost certain that Kevin Kiermaier would get a base hit.
It's now a 2-hit day for Kiermaier, who drove in the first Blue Jays run of the game, 7-2 Toronto. Kiermaier's on first, and Bichette's at the plate. Bo 0 for 1 with a strikeout, a walk, and a run scored. Winkowski's pitch. Called strike one. Bichette brings the bat over his right shoulder, a black bat. Here's the 0-1. Downstairs. Winkowski stepping off the rubber for a moment. So the Blue Jays draft him in 2016, but trade him in 2021 before that season starts. That was when they got Steven Matz from the New York Mets. 1-1 offering. This is down and away. Kind of a half slide step there. Now 2 balls and 1 strike.
I actually wouldn't mind if Kevin Kiermaier took off here. Why not get to second base? Try to extend this lead.
He is a perfect 5 for 5 in stolen bases this year. 2-1. Swing and a fly ball to right. Coming in, Abreu makes the catch head high. Kiermaier retreats to first. 2 down. First time we've seen Bichette put a ball in play, and his return to the lineup wasn't bad contact, but hit it very much in the direction of the right fielder. Now 2 outs, and Kevin Kiermaier still on first.
Yeah, it seemed like not the contact that Bo wanted. As he was walking back to the dugout, he was shaking his head.
Right on left, the pitch to Spencer Horwitz. Down and in, ball 1. Now I really wonder if you think about stealing. Horwitz is a big contact hitter, likely to come up with a single. If he gets thrown out, you have Horwitz, Guerrero, Turner set up for the next inning. 1-0. Just inside, 2-0.
I'd try to steal here. I don't know how comfortable Kevin Kiermaier feels stealing bags this year. I mean, only 5 stolen bases. I know you have to get on base to have stolen bases, which Kevin Kiermaier has struggled with this season, but I'd probably try to swipe a bag here if I was Kevin Kiermaier.
Kiermaier takes his lead off first. Winkowski steps onto the middle of the rubber and looks in at Horwitz, who doesn't have an at-bat yet. He's been hit by a pitch and walked. The 2-0. Called strike right at the knees on the hard changeup by Winkowski. His changeup at 91.
Yeah, that was actually pretty nasty. A lot of movement, a lot of downward action to it.
7-2 Toronto. The 2-1 pitch. Another change, this one too low. Bounces, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike.
And for what it's worth, Kevin Kiermaier is standing leading off first base with his hands on his knees, so it doesn't really look like he's intending to steal second base here.
The kick in the 3-1. High ball 4. Horwitz on for a 3rd time in 4 innings, and now the Blue Jays have 2 on base with 2 outs.
Well, just like you drew it up. Good thing you didn't try to steal.
Yeah. You get Kiermaier to scoring position anyway, and you give Vladimir Guerrero Jr. another shot to drive in runs. He knocked in 2 on a double in the 3rd, increased his team-leading RBI total to 38.
He is locked in right now.
That ball Vlad hit was 409 feet out to center field. That's a homer in 21 ballparks, but it's 420 to the triangle in right center field at Fenway. Winkowski's pitch. Guerrero checks his swing on a breaking ball down and away. Appeal to first. No swing. 1-0. The kick in the 1-0. Guerrero swings, blasts it foul down the right field line.
And again, he's behind on that middle fastball, almost thinking that they're going to throw something off speed. I would love to see him just sell out on a fastball. Not here when he's ahead in the count.
He did so on the 3-1 count that he hit the double on last inning. 1-1. Swing and a fly ball. That was the cutter on the outside edge. He hits it into the seats off to the right. And Winkowski gets ahead in the count 1-2. First inning of work for Winkowski, 6'4" righty in his third major league season. Kiermaier on second after a single. Horwitz on first. He walked. 2 outs. 7-2 Blue Jays and the 1-2 pitch. Just a hair outside. 2-2.
Reese McGuire framing that ball just a little bit too much. I don't love when catchers do that. It's obviously a ball. The umpire knows it's a ball. You don't need to move your glove that much.
Now the 20th pitch of the inning. Swing and a chopper over the third baseman. Devers down in fair territory left field. Around third, Kiermaier scores. Horwitz turning around third base. They give him the wave as it's booted in left. He comes in to score. Vladdy all the way to third, and it's 9-2 Blue Jays.
Well, when things are going well, you get base hits like that. A high chopper over Rafael Devers at third base, and that is the kind of hit that you want to see from your best hitter. It's a lot of luck involved right there.
I mean, the Baltimore chop of all Baltimore chops. He hit that ball into the ground right in front of the plate, but it got so high in the air that it got to the outfield. Now Turner takes strike one. It'll be a double for Guerrero. He'll get both RBIs, but he advances to third on a throwing error by Tyler O'Neill. Looked like O'Neill couldn't decide where he wanted to throw. Tried to pump fake almost and lost it. Now Turner hits the 0-1. High in the air, shallow right. Abreu sprinting in, makes the catch, and ends the inning. 2 more for the Blue Jays on Vladdy's double. It's 9-2 Toronto, middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
Bring it in, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop on the bandwagon fan. We're the in it for the long haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Hey, this is David Schneider. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. The Blue Jays add 2 more on another Guerrero 2-run double. It's 9-2 Toronto, bottom of the 4th inning.
He absolutely smoked that double.
Oh, yeah, just a classic liner now. He slammed it into the ground, and it bounced all the way over the third baseman. Blue Jays will take it, though. 4 RBIs in the game and 4 innings for Vlad. First pitch to Tyler O'Neill. Kevin Gausman puts a fastball right down the middle for strike 1. Blue Jays have lost 7 in a row Still have a long way to go in this one, but are up by 7 as the 0-1 is yanked foul into the seats, 0-2. Well, if you're talking about lucky doubles, how about the triple Tyler O'Neill hit back in the second inning? He popped up a ball way back at first. Guerrero was backpedaling deep into right, never called off, and he stumbled backpedaling and hit his glove and fell in. I think the official scoring of the Blue Jays broadcast booth did not have that as a triple, but it will go down as the first triple of the year for O'Neill. 0-2 pitch, called a ball. That was a great splitter at the knees, but it's called a ball, 1-2.
Well, Tyler O'Neill is definitely getting lucky tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's got to go get a lottery ticket or something. It's a pretty good pitch. Now the 1-2. That splitter definitely low.
Also on that drop pop-up by Vlad, most guys would have ended up at second base, but Tyler O'Neill ended up at third base. He gives everything 100%. That's what I love about Tyler O'Neill.
2-2. Fastball hit foul off to the right. And fun that when the World Baseball Classic comes around, Canadians get to see O'Neill suiting up. Born in Burnaby, grew up in Maple Ridge.
Wasn't Larry Walker from Maple Ridge? Or is it?
Let me check on that. 2-2. Down and in, 3-2.
I wish there was a website we could go to figure that out.
Maple Ridge, BC, Larry Walker.
There you go.
Good for you. O'Neill went to high school in Maple Ridge.
Okay.
3-2. Fastball destroyed foul down the left field line.
And I know the name Tyler O'Neill might not be as popular as the name Giancarlo Stanton or Aaron Judge, but he has that kind of pop.
Well, you had mentioned Vlad in the home run derby yesterday, especially with the year he's having. I want to see Tyler O'Neill in the home run derby. 3-2 pitch, down and away, ball 4. I mean, that's a guy who can really put on a show.
Yeah. I've seen him hit BP a lot. Not really in the big leagues, but I've seen him hit BP with the national team, and it is impressive. Just the different sound whenever he comes in contact with the baseball. A lot like Giancarlo, a lot like Aaron Judge. It's just a different sound.
O'Neill with the leadoff walk, though, and here's Masataka Yoshida with an RBI double today, 1-for-1. Takes outside, 1-0. Yoshida had 2 hits yesterday. That was his 8th multi-hit game and 14 starts in his career against the Blue Jays. 1-0. Swing and a fly ball hit weakly to left field. Addison Barger out there, and in his 4th major league start in left, he makes the catch. O'Neill back to first. 1 out.
You look pretty comfortable on that fly ball, although that was a pretty simple fly ball.
There was a question asked of John Schneider pregame. How do you feel about Barger in left? This is a very different left field than most with the monster. But he said he felt pretty comfortable with them out there, especially too with Kevin Kiermaier right beside him to help him out. Some would say, I don't know, I've never been out there, that actually right field is about as hard as it gets here at Fenway Park. First pitch to Dominic Smith, called strike 1. It's a huge right field.
Well, I've actually heard that playing left field at Fenway isn't as difficult as people think it is, because if it's over your head, it's likely off the wall. You kind of just turn around and wait for it to hit off the wall and make the play.
Well, 1 pitch is inside, 1-1.
You'll see a lot of guys during batting practice taking fly balls and turning around and just waiting to see where it bounces. That's really the only thing you have to figure out when playing left field at Fenway.
Yeah, you still have the hand-operated scoreboard out there. 1-1 pitch is bounced to the right side, and it's under the glove of Guerrero, fielded by Horwitz. He turns and throws to first, but it's not in time. Looked like Vlad was thinking about the throw to second base and pulled up early. That should go down as an error. Dominic Smith safe at first, Tyler O'Neill safe at second.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. He pulled his glove up just a hair early, took his eyes off the ball, trying to turn and throw to second base before he actually caught the baseball. With a 9-2 lead, you got to make that play before.
For Vlad, it'll be an error, his 6th of the season.
Yeah, that's a tough play. If I'm Kevin Gausman, I'm not excited about that one.
Gausman looking back at second out. The lead runner O'Neill pitches to Reese McGuire, who hits the ball in the air to center. Kiermaier gets turned around, moves toward right center, backpedaling to the front of the track, makes the catch. O'Neill was tagging at second. He'll advance to third, but one pitch is all that's required to get McGuire. And there's now 2 outs and runners on the corners. Let's go quickly to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard. You were mentioning Stanton, a Judge. They are staying in New York right now for an away game. It's the Subway Series. Yankees at the Mets, and the red-hot Mets are up 4-0 on the Yankees. Bottom of the 4th inning. 2 home runs in the game from Mark Vientos, the third baseman for the Amazons. Again, that one 4-0. Blue Jays up 9-2 at Fenway Park. 2 on, 2 out. Pitch to Cedon Rafaela. Fouled back, 0-1. Rafaela today bounced out to second in his one at-bat. 0-1. Hit foul off to the right, and Gausman is ahead. No balls, 2 strikes. Other out-of-town scores relating to the American League East. It's 8-6 Guardians over Orioles, top of the 7th. 6-2 Rays over Mariners, bottom of the 6th.
And in that Mets-Yankees game, Garrett Cole just gave up another home run, a 2-run shot.
0-2, cut on and missed by Rafaela. Strike 3, and that will end the 4th. Gausman strands the walk, and the error keeps the Blue Jays up 9-2 after 4. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
From Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran
It's just you and me.
to Zach Bryan,
Where the hell am I supposed to go?
Phoebe Bridgers, Noah Kahan, and beyond. The Coffee House serves up the singer-songwriters reshaping the sound of this moment, alongside stripped-down classics and acoustic covers.
You got a fast car.
Drop into the Coffee House, Channel 3, and the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Aaron Judge drills a 3-run home run.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to our all-time fantasy baseball draft to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts. Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, John Schneider joins MLB Network Radio every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern on SiriusXM 89 and the SiriusXM app Radio Network.
The 5th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins awarded another 150 grants worth $20,000 each to entrepreneurs across Canada. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz at goodsparkgrants.ca. Josh Winkowski hits the zone for strike 1 against George Springer to start the 5th. It's 9-2 Blue Jays at Fenway Park. Now the 0-1. Springer bounces a ball up the middle, fielded on the run by the shortstop Rafaela. Throw to first beats Springer by a step. 1 out. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer. Tom Young, our technical director. Here's Addison Barger with 1 out and nobody aboard in the 5th. Right on left, the pitch from Winkowski. Called strike 1.
And all things considered, the Blue Jays have actually played pretty well over the last couple of games. Of course, they had a little A couple of miscues late in that ball game yesterday, but for the most part, the Blue Jays have looked pretty good.
Especially at the plate.
Yeah.
A 1-pitch inside, 1-1. It's been a weird turn where in the last 5 games, they've allowed 6 or more runs in each of them. They'd actually hit well enough in a lot of those games to win. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Huge hack by Barger, 1-2. But a mix of some starters who were doing very well, having understandable regression, and then bullpen injuries and inconsistency have really cost Toronto. That's trying to leave no doubt today, though. 9 runs in 4 innings. Guerrero has driven in 4 of those. And Springer, who just grounded out, also had a 2-run homer in the 3rd. 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3 at the knees. Really good pitch right there. A sinker at the bottom of the zone. And there are 2 down.
Yeah, the rest of the way, if you're the Toronto Blue Jays up by 7 runs, the goal is just take care of the baseball. You're not trying to tack on runs here. You're just taking care of the baseball. You're making the plays you're supposed to make. Pop-ups, of course.
First pitch to Danny Jansen. Breaking ball in there. Strike 1. Three errors total in this game. 2 for the Red Sox, 1 for the Blue Jays. 0-1. Swing and a fly ball. Right field line on the run, Abreu, and that one is down in foul territory. Kicked off the retaining wall just in front of the foul pole. So it's 0-2. Jansen started that 7-run 3rd inning with a double. He's 1 for 2 today, also flying out to right field. Added twice in that 3rd inning. 0-2. Called strike 3. Fastball at the knees freezes Jansen. A 1-2-3 frame for Winkowski with a pair of strikeouts. Middle of the 5th, 9-2 Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's FSGA Draft Week on Fantasy Sports Radio.
Touchdown, Travis Kelce!
The brightest minds in the fantasy sports industry are drafting against each other in specialized fantasy football drafts with a different draft each day.
Listen, I'm with you. I'm going to take the discount on Kyron Williams, and I'm just going to handcuff him to Blake Corum.
Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, the Fantasy Football National League Draft, exclusively on SiriusXM Channel 87 on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Ally 400 from Nashville Super Speedway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
The most important person in sports is you, the fan.
Let me tell you something. I'm a real fan.
And your place for sports talk is Mad Dog Sports Radio, where your voice is heard all day long.
I couldn't wait to get into the truck, turn on 82.
Sharing the thrill of victory.
The joy, the jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888-MAD-DOG-6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
Your home for free agency is NBA Radio. We're breaking down all the transactions all week long on Channel 86 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Bottom of the 5th inning. Blue Jays in Boston, and they're leading the Red Sox 9-2. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Kevin Gausman back out on the mound. He'll face the top of the order 3rd time through for Boston. Jarren Duran leading off the inning. Kicking the pitch is hit in the air. Shallow right center field. Kiermaier charging in. Spreads his hands out. Makes the catch. 1 out. Let's go to the injury report brought to you by Bergmanis Prira Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Prira Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Prira will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. John Schneider provided an update on Dalton Varsho today, who's missed a couple of games with a lower left back ailment. First pitch to Emmanuel Valdez, called strike one. Said that Varsho was doing better today, went out, tested himself in terms of doing some running, shagging in the outfield. Swinging is the hardest thing compared to playing defense for Varsho, Schneider said. 0-1. Called strike nothing in 2. But where it was a little bit more up in the air as to Varsho's availability yesterday, he said he's probably available off the bench today should Toronto need him. Obviously, the clear update, too, on the injury report is that Bichette was activated today after a minimum stay on the injured list. Stuart Baroa optioned back to AAA. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Gets Valdez on a fastball. For Kevin Gausman, that's his 4th strikeout of the day, and 2 quick outs here in the 5th.
Yeah, Kevin Gausman's looked pretty good tonight. The split finger hasn't been incredible, but when he's needed it, he's thrown a good one, and that fastball right there at the top of the strike zone was a good one.
Gausman allowed both of the runs in the second inning, has only allowed 1 hit since. And the first pitch to Wilyer Abreu, called the ball, pretty good splitter, 1-0. Interestingly, all 4 of his strikeouts have been on fastballs, not one on the splitter. Righties 1-0. Fastball called to strike, gets a break on a pitch that looked outside, evens up the count at 1-1.
Maybe that scouting report that the Red Sox got was a lot of split fingers to lefties, and Kevin Gausman is obviously pitching differently than he would have in a normal game, especially with 7 lefties.
Splitter hit in the air to right field, out to Springer, and he'll make the catch to end the inning. Kevin Gausman's retired 5 in a row. He has a 1-2-3 5th, and we'll head to the 6th with the Blue Jays up 9-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Bring it in, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop-on-the-bandwagon fan. We're the in-it-for-the-long-haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Bichette powers the ball to left field. Going back, Peralta. It's out of here.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
6th inning at Fenway Park, and the Blue Jays leading 9-2. Thanks so much for sticking with us. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa leading off for Toronto. First pitch of the 6th. Just outside, 1-0. Still Josh Winkowski for the Red Sox, former Blue Jays draft pick. This now his 9th batter faced. He's pitching in his 3rd inning. 1-0, swing and a miss. Winkowski entered in the 4th, gave up 2 hits and 2 runs that inning. But in the 5th, set down the Blue Jays in order. The wind and the 1-1. Bounce to the left side near the shortstop, Rafaela. Backhands, throws over to first, and the throw sails away. IKF was chugging down the line. He might have been safe anyway, but he's safe at first for sure as that throw tails away from Dominic Smith.
That's probably going to be an error, but I think you're right. I think he might have beaten it out had that throw been to a good throw to first base, but that's definitely going to be an error.
Yeah, they do charge an error to Rafaela. That's the third Red Sox error in this game. All three throwing errors, 2 from the outfield. This is the first one from an infielder. Now Kevin Kiermaier up. He's 2 for 2. Winkowski's pitch. Swing and a fly ball deep center. Going back to Rand. Turns in front of the track. Makes the catch. Kiermaier retired for the first time. Let's go to the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Really back and forth ball game between the Guardians and the Orioles. 8-7 is the score right now as they're still playing in the bottom of the 7th inning with the Orioles threatening. Guardians had a 5-run 4th inning, but Baltimore at one point was leading 2-1 and then 4-3 and has chipped away at their deficit again. First pitch to Bichette outside, 1-0. And some big performances. Ryan Mountcastle with 3 hits in the game. Gunnar Henderson has a home run and 2 hits. Jordan Westberg with 3 hits. Great Jose Ramirez homered again. He's driven in 3. 1-0 to Bo. Swinging a foul back, 1-1.
And what about that game on the south side?
That one's an interesting one for sure. I mean, early in that game, you get Shohei Ohtani coming up with his 24th home run of the season, but the White Sox did not roll over early on. They're up 3-1 in the second. 1-1. Down and away, 2-1.
Still very early in that one.
Yes. Andrew Benintendi hit a 2-run shot to give the White Sox a lead. Eloy Jimenez came up with an RBI double.
Shohei Ohtani now hitting .320 with 24 homers.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Not a bad player.
Winkowski steps off the mound before the 2-1 to Bo. Runner on first, IKF after the error. Next pitch to Bichette, rolled foul right side. And it's 2-2. Winkowski from the stretch, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gets Bo on a slider. Former teammates at rookie ball in the minors, and Winkowski gets Bichette, now 2 down. Here's Spencer Horwitz, still searching for a first registered at bat, now in his 4th plate appearance. 2 walks and a hit by pitch today. Runner on first, and the pitch is lifted to shallow left. Devers, the third baseman, calling for it, stops and makes the catch to end the inning. Blue Jays get a leadoff base runner on the error, but leave Kiner Falefa on first, middle of the 6th. 9-2 Toronto. Stick around. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on Sirius XM Sports.
It's a Copa America Group A match tonight from East Rutherford, New Jersey, as Lionel Messi and Argentina take on Chile. Hear all the action beginning at 9 Eastern on Fox Sports Radio, Sirius XM Channel 83, and join the post-match conversation on Sirius XM FC 157, also on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Sirius XM Sports, wherever you are, your team plays here.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
While you're listening to this game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 159.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Welcome back to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young, our technical director. Kevin Gausman's first pitch of the sixth, or bottom of the sixth, to Rafael Devers, hit in the air, right center field, and a fan reaches over the fence and makes contact with the baseball in center field. That one almost got out to 420, but I think that they're going to stop play as Devers was rounding second, and that will be a ground rule double. Likely doesn't really change the result of the play.
Yeah, the fan is actually pointing to that yellow line saying that's a home run.
Didn't look like it, I'll tell you that.
It didn't look like it, but I need to see a slow motion replay. Why can't we trust him?
So
Why
there's
can't
a...
No, that's not close. That's not even close.
There's a yellow line. The funny thing about the 420 out there in center is that on the left side, there's a yellow line streaking up. On the left side, if it hits the wall, it's in play. On the right side, if it hits the wall, it's a homer because there's seats below there. It was certainly on the left side. First pitch to Tyler O'Neill. Smash to left field. And gone over the monster onto Lansdowne Street. A 2-run home run. The first two pitches of the inning have gone for extra base hits, and the Red Sox creep closer. Now 9-4 Blue Jays.
And that was an absolute bomb from Tyler O'Neill. That's the kind of power I was talking about earlier. That was just a sinker on the inside part of the plate. He whips the bat through. Wow. I'm telling you, Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, and Tyler O'Neill have this same type of power.
448 feet for O'Neill. So home runs allowed to each of the two potent home run hitters on this team in O'Neill and Devers in this game. But Gausman doesn't have to panic. The crowd is back in it, but the Blue Jays at this point still up 9-4 in the sixth. Yoshida takes the first pitch outside, 1-0. Masataka Yoshida 1 for 2 with an RBI double. 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2-0. Red Sox did overcome a 6-2 deficit yesterday, beat the Blue Jays 7-6 on a walk-off. 2-0 to Yoshida, back in there, strike one.
Like I said earlier, the only thing you have to do right now is take care of the baseball. That's the most important thing. 5-run lead is still a decent lead. I know it doesn't feel like that right now.
2-1 pitch hit behind the plate, foul, 2-2. Until this streak is snapped, an 100-run lead isn't going to feel like a good lead. Left-handed hitter Yoshida in the box, waiting for Gausman to step on the rubber. 6'2" righty does, nods into the plate. The kick and the pitch. Swing and a slicer foul into the seats. Yoshida's missed a lot of time this year due to injury, just his 35th game of the season. That double he hit was only his 5th double of the year. It's been a bit of a struggle in year 2. 2-2. Fastball chopped at shortstop, picked up by Bichette. Long throw to first in time. Blue Jays were shifting way over to the pull, so that was almost hit at the third baseman, Barger. He dove, but Bo did a good job of backing up Barger, snaring it and making the play.
Well, it's a good thing that he didn't get that baseball, because Yoshida would have beat it out if he caught that baseball at third base. Good thing it got to Bo Bichette. He was able to throw across the diamond.
So there's the first out of the bottom of the sixth, and the pitch to Dominic Smith is fouled back 0-1. Veteran Smith is 0 for 2. He reached on an error in the fourth, flied out to right field in the second. Springer made a leaping catch on the track. 0-1. Owl tipped into the glove, 0-2.
96 with that fastball right there on pitch number 87.
Gausman has been good today, but came out this inning and threw 2 pitches that caught too much of the plate, and Devers doubled before O'Neill homered. 0-2 is bounce foul.
Yeah, that Devers hit probably would have been a home run in a lot of ballparks as well.
Oh, yeah. I'll get that for you in a sec. '27. 0-2 in the dirt. And one of the 3 that it wouldn't have been a home run in is Coors Field, but they only count how far did you hit the ball, obviously, and, you know, at what trajectory. If you factor in that probably if he hits it that hard at Coors, it goes a whole lot farther. He likely hits it out in 28 ballparks. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him on the splitter. 5th strikeout of the day for Gausman, and now 2 outs. Let's go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard. More going on at Camden Yards. The Orioles are trying to get back on the right track after being swept and then losing yesterday to the Guardians. And Cleveland has added on 2 runs in the 8th to take a 10-7 lead. It's been a big day for Bo Naylor. 3 hits, and he just hit an RBI triple for the Guardians. Naylor back over the Mendoza line, hitting 202 now after those 3 hits. Reese McGuire fouls back the first pitch, 0-1.
That's good to see. I think going into that Blue Jays series, he was hitting 188.
Something like that, yeah.
He's better than that. He's a good player.
0-1 pitch hit foul, 0-2. 2 outs, base is empty. 9-4 Blue Jays over Red Sox. Still speaking about Naylor on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard. Buck Martinez had remarked on the television broadcast in that series just how difficult it is to hit as a young catcher when you're trying to figure out everything at the major league level. 0-2. Just missed with the splitter. Good take by McGuire.
Well, I think people don't realize is there's so much more to worry about as a catcher than, say, if you were a third baseman or a center fielder or a left fielder. You're trying to take care of a pitching staff, learn pitchers, frame baseballs, throw guys out, and then you have to hit on top of that.
1-2 splitter low, 2-2. And it seems like the general sentiment is most teams that call up a catcher, they tell them to worry about the fielding first. I think especially when your manager is Stephen Vogt, a former catcher, he's probably going to be really focused on you learning to catch. 2-2. Fastball low at 97. That's the hardest we've seen from Gausman today. It's a full count. This could be it for Gausman. That was his 95th pitch. This inning, at least. 9-4 Blue Jays. 2 outs, base is empty. Bottom of the 6th. 3-2. Swing and a fly ball to center. Racing back Kiermaier. A little bit of a gallop on the front of the track. He makes the catch and ends the inning. 2 runs come in for the Red Sox. A double by Devers, a homer by Tyler O'Neill, and it's 9-4 for the Blue Jays at the end of 6 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Our core values: equality, respect, the pursuit of greatness. Through and through, this is who we are.
Be at the ballpark to experience a proud tradition. Canada Day, Monday, July 1st. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays Canadian tuxedo hat giveaway. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Proud to the core. Canadian to the core. Blue Jays to the core.
Bring it in, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop-on-the-bandwagon fan. We're the in-it-for-the-long-haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Doubles gone! Two-run shot, Kevin Kiermaier.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leading off for the Blue Jays in the 7th. 9-4 Toronto. Canadian Tyler O'Neill just did a 2-run homer to make it a little bit closer. But Guerrero, Turner, and Springer will try to regrow that Toronto lead that's already 9-4 right now. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Thanks for joining us. Show Ali, our host and producer. Tom Young, our technical director. And Blue Jays Talk follows our broadcast. Blair and Barker host the show.
Vlad has 4 RBIs today. Now is 40 on the season. That happened quick, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, he went 13 straight without an RBI. But he's hit homers in 3 of 4 coming into this game and has 2 two-run doubles. First pitch to Guerrero, called strike 1. You know what I call that? The right day to make 2 errors in one game. If you're going to do it, he got charged with a second error on his scoring change. The Tyler O'Neill triple for 2 innings. I couldn't even believe it was ever a triple that popped out of his glove. A play that's really not his fault, probably. He gets charged with an error there and then did pull up early on a ground ball in the 4th. So, hey, if you're going to have 2 errors, drive in 4 runs.
That's how you make up for it, that's for sure.
0-2. Swinging a fly ball off to the right and into the seats.
But you all right on that pop-up. We've talked about it a couple times tonight, but George Springer should have called off Vlad on that play.
They've both more than made up for it, though. They've provided 6 of the 9 Blue Jays runs. Springer had a 2-run homer. 0-2. Guerrero takes a breaking ball outside. Winkowski into the wind and the pitch. Foul tipped into the glove. Strike 3. Good sinker in on the hands. And Guerrero strikes out for the first out of the inning.
That's the one hole that Vlad has right now. That sinker in off the plate, underneath the hands. That's a good pitch right there. A good pitch on the inside part, right off the plate, 95 miles an hour.
Guerrero down, and now the pitch to Justin Turner. Swings and misses. Strike 1. 0 for 2 with a walk today. A ground out and a fly out. Turner entered today hitting .327 in June after a 111 May. 0-1 pitch outside, 1-1. He's got a better average and on-base plus slugging, at least coming into this game, this month than he did in that really hot opening month of the season. The 1-1. Downstairs, 2-1. Now, he's done it with fewer homers, fewer doubles, so it hasn't been as loud of a month as he had in April. But it has been a really good June for Turner. 2-1 pitch, popped up, foul territory, playable for Devers on the third base side, onto the side warning track, catches it in front of the Blue Jays dugout. 2 outs.
I think George Turner is just becoming the guy that the Blue Jays expected from him. They didn't expect him to obviously produce like he did last year. He's almost 40 years old now. But if he can be a 260 with 15 homers by the end of the season with 60 RBIs, I think the Blue Jays will take that.
Certainly, he's been a big help in producing runs for the Blue Jays. George Springer up to the plate now, 1 for 3 with a 2-run homer. Winkowski winds and delivers. Strike one. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, the Mets have extended their lead against the Yankees. 6-1 is the score now at Citi Field. The Mets scoring all 6 runs off Garrett Cole. 0-1 pitch is hit on the ground sharply up the middle into left center field. A base hit for Springer. 2-hit day for the Blue Jays right fielder, and he keeps this inning going.
Good swing right there. Just like the homer, not trying to do too much. A lot of the times you see that front shoulder fly open when George Springer is really trying to get a hold of one. But those two base hits that he's gotten today, just trying to drive the baseball up the middle. That looks good right now.
Springer on first. He is the Blue Jays leader in stolen bases. Here's Addison Barger. First pitch to Barger, almost hit him on the back leg. He runs out of the way, 1-0. Springer has 8 stolen bases this year, and he hasn't been caught.
I think it's a good time to go right here. Try to get in a scoring position with 2 outs.
The 1-0. Barger hits it on the ground foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Addison Barger 0 for 3 and a little bit of a slump now after a hot start when he was called back up on June 15th. He's 1 for his last 14. 1-1. Downstairs 2-1. He was absolutely robbed today, though, of an extra base hit. Lined a ball over the first base bag back in the second inning, and Dominic Smith made a diving catch and then tagged first base for a double play.
Yeah, that was just bad luck.
Also robbed of a hit in Cleveland. Brian Rocchio dove into left center field to stop him from getting another hit. 2-1. Outside, 3-1.
What do you think was a better play, the Rocchio play or the Dom Smith play?
I think the Rocchio play, but it's close. Yeah. But Rocchio had to cover a lot of ground diving back, and then he had to get up and throw because it was a one-hopper. Not to take anything away from Smith. 3-1, right at the knees to keep Barger at the plate. Called strike, makes it a full count.
Well, Dom Smith, I think, landed on the bag.
Yeah, that's true. It was made for him. So do you agree? Are you
yeah, I think the Rocchio play, I think, was more impressive for sure.
Springer gets the head start now, but first Winkowski steps off. 3-2 and 2 outs. 9-4 Blue Jays, top of the 7th. Springer on first. Running on the pitch, and a swing and a miss, strike 3. Barger chases the cutter low and strikes out to end the inning. No runs on a hit, 1 left for the Blue Jays. And at the 7th inning stretch, 9-4 Toronto. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2menintruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2menintruck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2menintruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menintruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart Deferred Payment Program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
This is the best I've ever seen.
The competition's heating up on America's Got Talent.
Yeah!
Heart-pumping performances.
This season, everything is 10 times better.
And must-see moments.
You absolutely nailed it.
It was incredible.
The word is epic.
With $1 million dream on the line.
You've got a real shot at winning after that.
America's Got Talent. Only Tuesdays, 8/7 Central on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He rocks the ball to left field. The Blue Jays have gone back-to-back.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom 7 in Boston. Kevin Gausman's day is over. The right-handed starter out of the game with the Blue Jays leading 9-4. John Schneider goes to his bullpen and calls on lefty Brendan Little. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Thanks for sticking around with us. Blue Jays trying to snap a 7-game losing streak, and the freshly shaven Little on the mound now deals to Cedon Rafael and gets him to swing and miss at a curve. 0-1.
I have to say, I saw him running in from the bullpen, and it took me a second to figure out who that actually was.
Well, as it goes with baseball, you give up runs in back-to-back appearances, you change your facial hair. 0-1 pitch is rolled over to short, charging in Bichette, gloves, throws over to first, and there's one out.
Oh, it seems to be working.
That's the exact reason we got that play. Kevin Gausman, though, today, 6 innings pitched, gives up 6 hits, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. What did you think of the day for Gausman?
Well, I thought he was great. Early on in the ball game, the split finger wasn't great. The command was fine, but it was more of the movement for me that wasn't great. And then after that, the sinker was just great. And then the split finger became a pitch that he relied heavily on after that second inning. And I mean, he gave up 4 runs, 3 earned. Quality start. That's really all you can ask for, especially against a Boston Red Sox team that's pretty good.
1-0 pitch to Jarren Duran, called strike after Little missed low. He gets in there with the hard sinker. So now Brendan Little pitching for the 13th time this year, an ERA just above 6 entering this game. 1-1. Bouncer foul. Duran hit the foul ball off himself, and the helmet fell over his face, too. That was a tough sequence for the Red Sox center fielder.
Little smirk on his face. Obviously didn't hurt too much.
He bounced that ball off his helmet. It hit the back of his helmet. I think it didn't actually really catch his face, which is good. And he's kind of shaking his head a little bit, making sure the helmet stays on, and stepping back in before the 1-2 pitch. Little in the set. Left on left. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Bounce the curve. Jansen with a good block applies the tag to Duran. It's a strikeout for out number 2.
Well, Brendan Little needs to keep that razor in his locker because he's looked pretty good so far in the first 2 batters without a mustache.
I did misspeak. Not back-to-back appearances with runs allowed, but 2 out of 3 for Little before he shaved and came out for this one.
Oh, that's worthy of a shave. Baseball's strange.
It is. First pitch to Emmanuel Valdez, low and away, ball 1. A couple of years ago when I was broadcasting with the Fort Wayne Tin Caps, there was a starter who meant to shave his mustache before the season, forgot to, and then he got out to an impressive start, like a 2 ERA in his first 5, and so he kept the mustache for half the year. 1-0 pitch outside, 2-0. He finally, once he started getting hit a little bit, he was like, all right, I meant to do it. I'm going to shave the mustache now. But he kept it for months because he was pitching well.
That's funny.
(2-0). Fastball in there. Looked like Valdez was taken all the way. 2-1.
Not to trump your story.
No, please do.
But my only good big league season was 2011, and I remember I gave up starting the season. I think
2-1 up and in 3-1.
I had given up 1 earned run in my first 13 innings or something like that. And we were in Houston, and I remember I got a haircut, and I gave up 3 runs, I believe, that day. And I remember getting a text after the game from my brother, "Why did you cut your hair?"
That's awesome.
Yeah.
3-1. Swing and a miss, 3-2. When was the next time you cut your hair that year?
Never.
Never?
I had a huge beard and long hair the rest of the season.
Well, was your closer Joel Hanrahan? He had long hair, right?
He was gross.
Both his stuff, say, what are you, compliment
his stuff
or insult?
And his facial hair was pretty gross.
2 out, space is empty. Bottom of the 7th. 9-4 Blue Jays. The 3-2 pitch is just low, and it might have hit the zone, but it got Jansen to kind of reach across the plate. Looked a little awkward, so it'll go as a walk.
If you're Brendan Little, you want that strike, but I think you're right. Danny Jansen made it look a little bit like a ball. Maybe Brendan Little just missed his spot. That was the reason.
Yeah, I'd lean more that way. Trevor Richards is warming up right now for the Blue Jays, and to give him some time, plus talk to Little about this next matchup. Pete Walker's going out to the mound. It's Wilyer Abreu now, but what you don't want to do if you're Little is let it get to Rafael Devers or Tyler O'Neill. They have provided pretty much all the thump for the Red Sox today in a game that Toronto leads 9-4.
Yeah, I think your goal right here is just throw strike one and then you can expand. But you definitely don't want to walk this guy. You don't want to continue to throw balls here, but you want to throw a good strike down in the zone, and then you can really go to work.
And it'll be a pinch hitter for Abreu. They are going to eliminate that lefty matchup with Romy Gonzalez coming up, who provided one of the many big hits for the Red Sox yesterday. He had a pinch hit 2-run single off Zach Pop to tie the game at 6-6 in the 8th yesterday. So now a left-on-right matchup. The pitch is a curveball outside, 1-0. Gonzalez batting near 300 this year, 294, and a utility bench roll for Boston. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Got him out in front on the curve.
Good pitch right there. Much needed strike.
It's a knuckle curve grip, but it's got slider or fastball velocity. That one 88 from Little. 2 peaks at first in the pitch. Bounced the curve. Jansen blocked it off the stomach. 2-1.
Brendan Little kind of looking out to the green monster, shaking his head. Not impressed with that pitch right there. I think it bounced in front of the plate. Gonzalez obviously not going to swing at that pitch.
Little pairs that curveball with a cutter and a sinker. His 2-1. On the inside edge. Beautiful sinker to even up the count. Called strike, makes it 2-2.
He's got good stuff. A good sinker. That last sinker was 96, and then he has that 88-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch. He can just command both of those pitches. I think he'll be effective out of the bullpen.
Has been much better for the Blue Jays in this second stint than his first one this year. 2-2. Bounced the curve again in front of the plate, and again a bit of a frustrated walk off to the right of the mound as he looked beyond the first base dugout into the seats.
Now this becomes a huge pitch right here. 3-2 count. Rafael Devers standing in that on-deck circle.
9-4 Blue Jays, bottom 7. Guerrero's not going to hold the runner because he'll be off on the pitch, Valdez, with a full count and 2 outs. The 3-2. Bounce foul. Another good sinker in on the hands that Gonzalez just gets the bat to. Gonzalez asking if it was a strike by Little. Dan Rackley, the home plate umpire, appeared to say that it would have been a called strike had he not swung. Gonzalez never left the box. He's ready to go again. Another 3-2. Swinging a line shot foul off to the right. This was a sinker on the outside edge, but maybe elevated a little more than Little meant. This has quickly become a pretty good battle between Little and the pinch hitter Romy Gonzalez. 7 pitches so far. The last 2 fouled off by the righty swinger. A third 3-2 from the lefty Little. Outside, ball 4. Back-to-back 3-2 walks with 2 outs. And the question is, do they let Little face Devers? Little came in against Devers in a big spot in the 7th inning in Toronto and struck him out. But he did go on to allow a couple of runs in the 8th inning after that. It looks like they will let him go left on left with Rafi Devers.
Yeah, you could see John Schneider really contemplating that decision. Trevor Richards is that left-handed, right-handed thrower. I think this is a good call, though.
First and second, 2 outs. The pitch. At the knees, a good sinker for strike 1. Devers is 2 for 3 today. with a home run and a double that would have been a homer in almost every Major League park. 9-4 Blue Jays. Looks at both runners and the 0-1. Down and away. It feels very reasonable to assume that this is the last Little will face. He gave up the home run to Tyler O'Neill in that aforementioned outing in Toronto against the Red Sox, and they could bring in Richards to go right on right. 1-1. Called strike on the outside edge. A bounce off the mound by Little as he delivers a good fastball to get ahead 1-2, and he'll go to the rosin bag and then ask for a new baseball. Lefty's thrown 23 pitches this inning, a ground out, a strikeout, and then 2 walks. Trying to keep this 9-4 Toronto lead. Here's 1-2. Down and away. Devers started to offer, but held back on that bouncing curve.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad pitch there. Looked like a strike out of the hands, but Devers so good, holds back. Danny Jansen with the good block.
When Little struck out Devers in the 7th inning on the 18th, it was with the knuckle curveball. 2-2. Fastball down and away, and a 3rd straight full count.
And this is where you don't want to be with Devers. Devers knows that you want to throw a strike here. You want to throw something over the heart of the plate. Whether it's a fastball or a curveball, he'll be ready for it.
Fans on their feet. Runners off on the pitch. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. A fist pump from Little, who challenges him with a sinker over the plate and gets Devers for the 2nd time in a week to end the inning. 2 left on base. We go to the 8th. 9-4 Blue Jays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Ally 400 from Nashville Superspeedway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
This is Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and host of the SiriusXM original podcast, Black Diamonds. Hear stories about the legends of the Negro Leagues and conversations with the all-time greats they've influenced, like 5-time World Series champion Derek Jeter.
I don't care what race you are. You need to know your past. This is U.S. history. It's not just baseball history.
Hear over 70 episodes of the award-winning Black Diamonds podcast, available now on the SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. 8th inning in Boston. Danny Jansen leading off for the Blue Jays, and Josh Winkowski out for a 5th inning of work out of the pen. He misses inside 1-0, or pardon me, they called it a strike, 0-1. Righty into the wind. Here's his pitch to Jansen. Down and in. Some defensive changes for the Red Sox. They pinch hit Romy Gonzalez last inning. He slots in at shortstop. 1-1. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Gonzalez had come in for Willier Abreu, so they flipped the left fielder O'Neill into right field in Abreu's spot. Jaron Duran moves from center to left, and Rafaelo, the shortstop, moves to center. 1-2 pitch is bounced to the new shortstop. Gonzalez feels it head high. Sidearm throw to first in time. 1 out. Shortstop center field's kind of a fun combo for Cedon Rafael. You don't see that every day.
I mean, it takes a lot of talent. I mean, I'm sure he's working during BP and whenever he can, I guess.
His rookie season. I mean, he played a little last year, but this is true rookie year. First pitch to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Hit to the new shortstop, Romy Gonzalez, on the ground. He gets up and throws to first. 2 outs.
Well, that's how it normally works, isn't it? You come into a ball game, you get 3 ground balls, you get 3 fly balls. Better be ready.
We'll see if Kevin Kiermaier hits him another one. 2 quick outs for Winkowski, who's done a huge job today for the Red Sox. Regardless of how this game ends, he has helped them out a ton by now it seems like pitching at least 6 innings.
Yeah, when he came into this ball game, I thought he would pitch 3, and I knew that the Boston Red Sox would be ecstatic with that. But he's now into his 5th inning.
And still at 64 pitches.
He should have started this ball game.
I know. He only gave up 2 runs. 1-0 to Kiermaier. Fouled back, 1-1. Kiermaier with 2 hits today, an RBI and 2 runs scored. Swings and misses out a 1-1 breaking ball. That was the cutter. It's 1-2. Trevor Richards was warming up last inning, probably comes in for the 8th. We're in the top of the 8th, and with 2 outs, the 1-2 pitch. Kiermaier bounces it off the glove of the pitcher, Winkowski, and it's off the glove of Gonzalez at short, and Kiermaier's safe at first. It still found its way to Romy Gonzalez off a deflection from the pitcher, and I think that'll be a base hit for Kiermaier.
Well, I was just thinking there's probably a slim chance that Romy Gonzalez gets 3 ground balls with Kevin Kiermaier up at the plate, but that's a tough play. That's a base hit.
They do rule it a hit quickly for Kiermaier. Once it took the deflection off the glove of the pitcher, Gonzalez might not have been able to get Kiermaier unless he was absolutely perfect. And so Kiermaier's got a 3-hit day. Top of the order, Bo Bichette will get another opportunity to hit. Bo Bichette is 0 for 3 with a walk. Winkowski's pitch. Fouled back, and Bichette lost his bat behind him. 0-1.
Who do you think's going to sleep better tonight, Kevin Kiermaier or George Springer?
I think they're both going to rest very easy. Kiermaier with 3 hits, Springer with 2 hits and a homer. I'll say potentially see John Schneider.
Hell yeah.
0-1. Swing and a bouncing ball to short, picked up by Gonzalez. He throws to first and ends the inning. All 4 ground balls this inning hit to the new shortstop. 3 plays on him, and that's the top of the 8th. Middle of the 8th inning, it's 9-4 Blue Jays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Strike three. Kevin Gausman strikes out the side.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 8th inning in Boston. 9-4, the Blue Jays lead the Red Sox. Thanks so much for sticking around with us. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Trevor Richards takes over for Toronto, facing off with Canadian slugger Tyler O'Neill to start the frame. O'Neill, a 2-run homer in the 6th, the walk, and he reached on an error and scored in the 2nd. Pitch. Changeup drops in, strike 1.
That would have been a good one to swing at.
Middle in change from Richards. Froze O'Neill on the first pitch. 0-1. Outside 1-1. .34th appearance of the year for Richards. .270 earned run average in 40 innings. Next pitch is the fastball, called low, borderline pitch. It's now 2 balls and 1 strike. Richards nods, looks toward third. Now the 2-1 is a changeup cut on and missed. 2-2. O'Neill leaning forward as he whiffed on that one.
Yeah, that one was nasty. Tyler O'Neill way out in front.
O'Neill asks for time, so Richards walks to the back of the hill. O'Neill matched the team lead with his 16th homer of the season in the 6th. 2-2. Fastball hit foul off to the right. It's probably more impressive, too, because O'Neill's missed time, unlike Devers. Twice this year he's hit the injured list. Most recently, it was a minimum stint for knee inflammation. 2-2 pitch, change up in the dirt. O'Neill lays off, full count. But since returning, O'Neill's hitting almost .340. And has 9 extra base hits, 5 homers since returning from the injured list on the 5th of June. 3-2. Fastball popped up. Back of the plate into the seats, out of play.
Outside of 2021, when he had 34 homers and 80 RBIs, he had 286. This is his best big league season.
Second most homers already. He's missed so much time due to injury. 3-2. Foul tipped into the glove. A high fastball gets O'Neill for strike 3. I mean, when you look at O'Neill's career, this is on pace to be the second 100-game season of his career. Not 160, 100. That 30-homer year, he played 138. 96 in 2022 is the next best.
He's still young, though. Still got a lot of time. 29 years old. Well, not young, but I still think of him as that 18-year-old on Team Canada.
About to hit free agency for the first time after this season. Masataka Yoshida takes a pitch upstairs, 1-0. 9-4 Blue Jays, 1 out, bottom 8, the pitch. Called strike, floats a changeup right down the middle.
Also a good time to have a good season.
Definitely. The 1-1. Fastball in there. Could hear the grunt of Richards as he delivered 92 on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch, cut on and missed. Strike 3. That one was bounced and Jansen goes inside the line, throws down to Guerrero, 2 outs.
So much downward action on that changeup. That probably was one of the best changeups he's thrown this season. Started down the middle, looked like a fastball, and then ended up bouncing behind home plate.
Richards just kills guys with that changeup. Batters are hitting 100 off of it this year. First pitch to Dominic Smith, called strike 1. 0-1. Change up for called strike 2.
I bet if he throws a fastball here at the letters, Dom Smith has no idea what to do with it.
Oh-2. Fastball at the letters, popped up behind the plate. Out of play. I mean, not a bad result.
He had a little bit of an idea what to do with that pitch, but maybe a little bit higher and he swings right through it.
Smith has struck out once today. Was the last strikeout of Kevin Gausman's start in the 6th. Is 0 for 3 on the night. 0-2 again. Bounced the changeup. Smith was wise to it as it bounced on the plate. 1-2. Righty sets at the belt. 1-2 pitch. Changeup just missed down and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. By the way, meant to mention last inning, but Addison Barger out of the game as of last inning defensively. Davis Schneider has taken over and left. 9-4 Blue Jays. 2 outs, bottom 8. 2-2 pitch fouled off the glove of Jansen. And it settles back near the backstop. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I guess John Schneider not taking any chances.
They do still have Horwitz in at second. Haven't gone to a potential of Clement at third and moving IKF there. 2-2. Fastball just outside. Ball 3. But some of that may have to do with the fact that Horwitz leads off in the 9th inning. Richards about to throw his 20th pitch, has struck out 2 in a row, and now a 3-2. Popped up into the seats. He got ahead of Smith 0-2 early, and Smith has made him work 8 pitches in this plate appearance.
Would you bring Ernie Clement in this ballgame up by 5?
Right now?
Yeah. I mean, not like right now.
Well, yeah, not right now. I like to start this inning or maybe even earlier.
Yeah.
I might have.
Yeah.
I might have.
Especially up by 5.
3-2. Popped up. Back of short, drifting out to left. There's Davis Schneider. He makes the call, and he's got it for the 3rd out of the inning. A 1-2-3 frame by Trevor Richards, and we go to the 9th. It's 9-4 Blue Jays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey friends, Ted Danson here, and I want to let you know about my new podcast. It's called Where Everybody Knows Your Name, with me, Ted Danson, and Woody Harrelson. Sometimes. Doing this podcast is a chance for me and my good bud Woody to reconnect after Cheers wrapped 30 years ago. Plus, we're introducing each other to the friends we've met like Jane Fonda, Conan O'Brien, Eric Andre, and trust me, it's always a great hang when Woody's there.
Listen to Where Everybody Knows Your Name on the SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
The Titans of Europe are gathered once again for the Euros.
Cristiano Ronaldo for Portugal.
Soccer's best, assembled to represent their nation.
Oh my word, from Kylian Mbappe. And it's another magnificent goal for France.
Trying to reach the pinnacle of European soccer.
Italy are champions of Europe.
Hear the top matches and expert analysis from Euro 2024 all month long on Fox Sports 83 and SiriusXM FC 157. Or listen anytime on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. Top of the 9th inning, Spencer Horwitz leading off against Josh Winkowski. Righty's pitch. Horwitz sticks inside, 1-0. Spencer Horwitz 0 for 1 with 2 walks and a hit by pitch. Josh Winkowski pitching in his 6th inning of relief. 1-0. Called strike.
You don't see that very often.
No. Winkowski called up a couple days ago. Entered after Brian Bayo was knocked out in the 3rd. Greg Weissert finished the 3rd, and then Winkowski started the 4th. 1-1 is bounced to the shortstop, Romy Gonzalez. He throws over to first, and there's 1 out. Romy Gonzalez entered the game in the bottom of the 7th as a pinch hitter, and since taking over at short to start the 8th, all 5 balls in play have been ground balls hit to him.
When it rains, it pours. He looked pretty good over there.
I mean, he's made 4 plays, and the other one was a base hit. It wasn't his fault. Here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 2 for 4 with 2 2-run doubles. The pitch. Called strike 1.
Vlad shaking his head at that call, but that was a strike. Caught the bottom of the strike zone.
A wind in the 0-1. Chopper foul. Swings at a pitch in off the plate. 0-2. O2 offering. Down and away. Swing and a miss by Vlad on the breaking ball. Strike 3.
And on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, did you see the Dodgers are now ahead of the White Sox?
I mean, I don't mean to pile on, but I didn't see but could have guessed.
Ohtani with an RBI single.
That checks out. 2 down. Here's Justin Turner. First pitch spiked by Winkowski, 1-0. 76 pitches for the reliever Winkowski. Most he had thrown in the major leagues this year before this game was 65. He has been starting in the minors, though, and has routinely hit 75 or more. 1-0. Outside, 2-0. And he's basically fully resetting this bullpen, maybe with the exception of Kenley Jansen, who they used for a 3rd day in a row yesterday. He's fully resetting this pen for tomorrow's game. 2-0. Swinging a hot shot grounder foul down the left field line.
I mean, outside of being down 9-4, this is best case scenario for the Boston Red Sox.
Trying to give themselves, there's still baseball to be played here. We're not going to count on anything until the streak is over, but still giving themselves a good shot to try and win the series tomorrow as Boston by setting up their pen this way. A breath from Winkowski. And the 2-1. Fouled back into the screen. A high and tight fastball that Turner just missed. It's 2-2. Wave going around at Fenway Park. They've kept the energy going throughout these 2 days.
A lot of Blue Jays fans there, though.
For sure. It got pretty loud during their rally yesterday, understandably so. 80th pitch by Winkowski today. Inside, full count. Turner with a walk today. A pop-up, a fly-out, and a ground-out. 3-2. Swing and a flare to right. That's down for a base hit. Off the end of the bat, but Turner does enough to get to first and keep the inning going.
And that's what he's been doing all season long. Sees a bunch of pitches during that at-bat and then breaks his bat and hits a weak line drive over the second baseman for a base hit as he shakes out his hands at first base.
If you're Winkowski, I think you're like, are you kidding me? I'm just trying to get back in the dugout and end this. His season high in pitches thrown, minors or majors, is 85. He could touch that here. 81 pitches. Reese McGuire's giving him a second. He'll go out and talk to Winkowski. George Springer coming up to the plate, 2 for 4 today. 2-run homer in the 3rd inning and a single up the middle in the 7th. Two-run homer really changed this game. It was 5-2 Blue Jays at the time, made it 7-2 and knocked Brian Bayo out. Right on right, the pitch. At the knees, strike 1. Winkowski set just above the belt. Kicks and delivers. Missed outside with the cutter. We've mentioned it a little bit, but a big day for George Springer. Here's the 1-1. Check swing. Pitch was down and away. 2-1. First home run for Springer since the Baltimore series in Toronto. 2-1. Swing and a liner right field. That's another base hit. Turner will stop at second. It's a 3-hit day for George Springer.
That ball not hit very hard, but I can guarantee that he'll take it. Him and Kevin Kiermaier having a laugh. Kiermaier at the top step of that dugout.
They both have 3-hit days. For Springer, it matches a season high. It's the second time he's come up with 3 hits in a game. First time since the Blue Jays were in Kansas City in late April.
That's got to feel good. Hopefully that starts some sort of positive streak for George Springer.
That gives Davis Schneider a chance to hit. First and second, 2 outs. First pitch buckles him for strike 1, a cutter right at the upper and inner part of the strike zone. Schneider got the start yesterday and left, went 0 for 4. Batting for the first time now. Came in defensively in the bottom of the 7th for Addison Barger. 0-1. Called strike, 0-2. Pretty big evolution for Schneider, who was still learning left field to start this year and is a defensive replacement in this game in left. The kick in the 0-2. Just a little bit outside. Winkowski, you could hear him disagreeing with that. He might have had a point. It was a very borderline pitch.
That was a pitcher's pitch, though.
Yeah. I mean, that just tips the corner. And he's given up 2 flares since he's gotten to 2 outs. Yankees suck, by the way, being tainted here. I'm not saying it. They're saying it. I think they just saw the Mets score. 1-2. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Turner on second, Springer on first. 2 outs, 9-4 Blue Jays, top of the 9th. 2-2 to Davis Schneider. High ball 3. Winkowski had 90 pitches. This last inning has been an eternity for the righty, who's trying to finish 6 innings, has only given up 2 in relief. Runners off on the pitch, the 3-2, called strike 3. And Winkowski cursing a little bit, I think, in celebration to just be off the mound and done with it. It is a big performance for him, a guy fighting for a spot on the Major League roster. It'll send us to the bottom of the 9th. 9-4 Blue Jays. Chad Green coming in. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
Bring it in, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop on the bandwagon fan. We're the in it for the long haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He's at the track, at the wall. He leaps, and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you at Baseball Control. Jays lead the Red Sox 9-4 as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning at Fenway Park. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk tonight. Blair and Barker of the Postgame Show. Jeff just joined me here at Baseball Control. He will throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. Blue Jays Baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Jays lead the Red Sox 9-4. We head to the bottom of the 9th inning at Fenway Park in Boston. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. Former Yankee Chad Green on the mound at Fenway Park, trying to close out a Blue Jays win over the Red Sox. 9-4, Toronto leads in the bottom of the 9th. They have not won for the last 7 games in a row. They are 3 outs separated from getting back in the win column. It'll be 8-9-1 facing Green. Leading off, the former Blue Jay, Reese McGuire. Right on left, first pitch is called, strike 1.
And I would imagine, generally speaking, probably Nate Pearson would be in this ball game, but the Blue Jays need this ball game, so Chad Green is pitching the 9th inning.
Here's the 0-1. Swinging a pop-up into the seats, 0-2. Toronto also makes a defensive change to better their chances, or at least they think so. Ernie Clement moves into the game. He's at third. IKF moves over to second. Spencer Horwitz is out. Nothing in 2. Green's pitch. Fastball slapped to third, picked by Clement, and he throws out McGuire after making a good play on the high hop. 1 out.
And just like that, John Schneider looks like a genius.
That's a tough play over there at third, made well by Ernie Clement.
He's a pretty good defender over there.
Yeah, he had like a weird week and a half where there were some throwing errors, but other than that, he's looked very good. First pitch to Cedon Rafaela. Hit in the air foul, 0-1. And he played a ton of shortstop for the Buffalo Bisons, has played more third for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, he did look a little bit yippy over there for about a week and a half.
0-1. Foul back 0-2. I remember we were in spring training talking to some of the Blue Jays coaches about Ernie Clement. That's when he was, he went off in spring training, really cemented his spot on the roster. And one of them was saying, he's a great hitter, but you should see the way he picks the ball. They were really excited about him as a defender as well. 0-2. Rafaela bounces a ball up the middle. Kiner Falefa, the new second baseman, throws it over to first. And there are 2 down.
This is turning out to be a very tidy 9th inning for Chad Green.
Does get the top of the order now, but 2 outs and the base is empty. Blue Jays up 9-4. Chad Green knows the Red Sox well. This is the 34th time he's pitched against the Boston Red Sox. He knows Fenway Park very well. First pitch is high. 1-0 against Jarren Duran. He's pitched 13 times at Fenway Park. First time, though, doing it as a Blue Jay. 1-0 pitch, fastball at the knees. Blue Jays with a 7-run third, up 9-4. 1-1 pitch high, 2-1. The first 6 reached that inning with doubles by Danny Jansen and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. before George Springer homer. Toronto padded its lead with a 2-run double by Vlad in the 4th. Swing and a miss on the 2-1. And the Red Sox are down to their final strike. Duran will ask for time. The Blue Jays' last win was on the 16th of June. Toronto fans getting loud. 2-2. High, full count. Toronto has amid its longest losing streak since 2019, but if they lost another, it would equal the longest streak since 2009. 3-2. Foul tipped off the mask of the home plate umpire, Dan Rackley, who stayed in a crouch for a moment. His hat is knocked back a little bit, showing a lot of his forehead. But it seems like he's all right. The brunt of it went off the mask that actually got knocked off his face.
Oh, yeah, that squared him up. Right on the forehead.
Jansen quickly turned around to make sure he was okay. He looks all right. They take an extra second. And now Jansen back in the crouch. Base is empty. 9-4 Blue Jays bottom 9. 3-2 count against Jarren Duran, who walked it off yesterday. Green's pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The streak is over. The Blue Jays win 9-4.
That was a big win. George Springer screaming with the big day, a homer, 3 for 5. He's now hitting 196. I know that doesn't sound like much, but it's a big deal for him and for his confidence. Hopefully a lot of good things for him moving forward. Kevin Kiermaier with a big day as well. This was a good team effort. Kevin Gausman didn't have the start that he normally does, but he kept this team within striking distance, and a big 9-4 win for the Blue Jays.
They end the losing streak at 7 games with the bats heating up recently. They provide 9 runs, including a 7-run third. We will take a quick step aside and then wrap this up before a winning edition of Blue Jays Talk on the other side. 9-4 Toronto wins. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He delivers a 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Blue Jays win in Boston. 9-4 the final score. They snap the 7-game losing streak and give themselves a chance to maybe even take this series at Fenway Park. Thanks so much for sticking around. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Chris, you had mentioned Kevin Gausman kept them in the game today. The Blue Jays fell down a little bit early with a home run by Devers in the second. Tyler O'Neill reached on an error, and Masataka Yoshida would drive him in. But Gausman on the day pitched a quality start, 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. And the third inning was a mammoth one for the Blue Jays. It started with a Danny Jansen double. Toronto's first 6 batters reached. By that point, they had already scored 5 runs, capped off by a Vladimir Guerrero 2-run double. And then we got to our play of the game with 1 out and a runner on second base, or pardon me, a runner on third in Vlad. George Springer stepped up to the plate. Infield in, and back in the stretch, Bayo's 1-0. Swing and a fly ball, right center field. Duran back at the wall. It's gone into the Red Sox bullpen. Home run, George Springer, and Toronto's up 7-2.
The most impressive thing about that swing was that he didn't try to do too much. I know I've said that a few times today, but when he's trying to do a lot with a pitch, specifically that pitch on the outside part of the plate, you see the front shoulder go flying. And this time it stayed in, and he drove it to center field and ended up with that big home run to right center.
Springer's home run made it 7-2. The Blue Jays would add on as Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had a big day. He also had a 2-run double in the 4th inning that made it 9-2. He finished with 2 doubles and 4 RBIs, matching his season high in RBIs in a game. And the Blue Jays held on. A good bullpen performance, 3 scoreless innings, Little, Richards, and Green combined. And Chris, it is finally over. After 7 straight losses, more than a week without a win, the Blue Jays are back in the win column.
Well, I'm excited to talk about wins. I'm excited to talk about the potential of George Springer, Kevin Kiermaier, all those good things, and I'm glad that this losing streak is finally over.
Kiermaier, good point. Also had 3 hits on the day. Spencer Horwitz reached 3 times for the Blue Jays, and they won 9-4. The win going to Kevin Gausman today. He gets back to 500 with his record at 6-6. Brian Bayo picks up the loss. He's now 7-5. No save, although Chad Green closed out the 9th for the Blue Jays. 9 runs for Toronto, 11 hits, 2 errors, 6 left on base. 4 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors for the Boston Red Sox, 6 left on base. Just under 35,000 at this game at Fenway Park. That took 2 hours and 45 minutes and ended in a Blue Jays win. The Blue Jays 36-43, the Red Sox 43-37, and a rubber match coming up tomorrow. Interesting pitching matchup at 7:10 Eastern. Cutter Crawford faces Yariel Rodriguez. We'll have game coverage starting at 7. Hope to see you there. Appreciate you tuning in tonight. For our technical director, Tom Young, host and producer, Show Ali, and my partner, Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Have a great rest of your night, and stick around because Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker starts right now.
Care to apologize to the skipper?
No, I don't. I enjoy seeing Bo Bichette in the 2-hole. I don't like him leading off. I don't get the point. I get why he's sticking Horowitz in front of Vladdy.
9-4.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with
shellacking, Kevin. A shellacking.
Well, but yeah, I mean, when you don't score a ton of runs and you win by 5, yeah, that's what that's called.
That's called shellacking.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, they can do this lineup any way they want to. Vladdy continues to do some things with runners on base. The lineup just looks different, right? We've been saying this for a year and a half now. When Vladdy goes, they sort of go, and hopefully Bo has the at-bats that he had in the 3rd inning, where he doesn't, just because there's traffic, just because he wants to do something, just because he wants to contribute, doesn't mean he always has to chase a pitcher's pitch, doesn't mean he has to expand. Stay within yourself, take what the pitcher gives you. If he doesn't want to throw a strike to you, let him not throw a strike to you. So hopefully Bo can come to the party. Him and Vladdy are doing some things that are special. I ain't even going to say that Springer's back. Should I say that, Jeff?
I don't know.
I'm scared to say it. Should I say it?
I mean, I don't know. It's Springer sprung. I have no idea.
Give him credit.
I'm trying to get warmed up in it. I'm not used to doing this. Yeah. It's been a while. Yeah. It's been a week.
Yeah. Well, I like the direction the balls went from Springer. He had 2 hits.
Earned to the bullpen.
Well, one of them. He had 2 hits to right. He had a hit up the middle. That will tell you that his shoulders are square. He's landing with his front foot the way he's supposed to land. He's getting a decent pitch to hit. You could tell when the pop-up went up that Vladdy had trouble catching. The error that he made with the O'Neill. You could tell the ball was going to carry a little bit to right. It did. Even the ball that Springer hit, he didn't think looked to me like any way that he got it. And, again, it's just you have a decent approach, you stay square, it gives you a better chance to have results.
All right, let me throw out the numbers. Look, you've all called up to whine, complain, and bitch when the team loses. I expect full phone lines tonight at 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590, because there's another game against the Red Sox. Then the Yankees come to town. Don't miss this opportunity to call up after a Blue Jays win. It's like Hallie's comment.
What are you saying? You saying it may not happen again?
I'm just kidding. I'm delirious tonight. 416-870-0590.
I'm on the bandwagon.
1-888-666.
That 3rd inning, it sold me. I'm in, Jeff.
A bat around inning. I mean, it had a little bit of everything. The Red Sox defense did them in. Ryan Bayo was not. You're going to have to explain to me the difference between him in this outing.
Slider command was bad. Give the lineup credit for the Blue Jays. They didn't chase so much the sinker in. That's a big deal, right? Force him on the plate, make him throw quality pitches. If he doesn't, pitch count will go up. I mean, he hasn't had a year that they thought he was going to have, right? And that will tell you most of the time that it's fastball command. And I think the last outing they chased a bunch, right? They chased that thing off the plate, off the plate. You do that, you give him, the opportunity to not always have to make the quality pitch. He can go a little deeper in game and give his team a chance to win. Jeff, I just we need to give him credit for the third inning, right? It was the Jansen double that sort of started it off on the changeup down. That'd been an issue, right? Something off speed, something breaking away. It was just losing the barrel towards the ball. You use your lower half well enough, allows you to stay through the ball, barrel it up. He pulls the double down the line. The IKF, that's baseball IQ, right? You get Devers involved. You get Devers involved with the bunt single, good things are going to happen. Then the Kiermaier 2-strike RBI single. That's a big deal. IKF, baseball IQ again, putting pressure on the right fielder, right? Then he throws it away and runs scores that way. The Bo at bat I mentioned with the walk. Yep. Make him throw you a strike, right? Runner on third, nobody out. It's very
Justin
easy.
Turner's at bat too, even.
There it is. Well, I'm going to get to that.
All right.
You let me. Okay, like it's second and third, nobody out, situational baseball, right? Get them in, get them over. It's 39-year-old playing the situation, playing to the scoreboard. How many times have we seen that this year? It's rare. And then you get the big boy up who's not chasing the slider away. I mean, that's how they're going to try and get him out. He forces him in the zone, right? He calibrated the 1-0 sinker that he fouled off. He's thinking to himself, got to get it going a little bit sooner. 3-1 count, you're looking for a sinker, you're looking for something a little in, he got it middle in and down. You get barreled to it because he calibrated it, and then Springer thing came up, and it's good direction, right? It's the shoulder square to the baseball. He got a bad pitch. He did exactly what a veteran hitter is supposed to do to bad pitches.
Kevin.
Boy, that felt good. Man, I like those.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr., his last 9 hits. And I think we can say that he's officially on a heater right now.
Yep.
Last 9 hits, 3 home runs, 3 doubles, 3 singles.
Yep. He's getting better pitches to hit. He's not over swinging.
And he had his haircut.
Hey, look, Davis Schneider don't look like he got too much that mustache working.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because that average is somewhere in that 220 range, and
yeah, I know.
You let that
average goes down. You let the hair. You let it become a beard. That's absolutely right. Kevin Gausman tonight. Velocity was up a tick on the 4-seamer. Really good in the splitter. Yep. Kevin, he threw one slider. Surprised?
Because it's been getting hammered. Like righty's been wearing that thing out. What do? You don't throw it no more. That's why we've said this. Most of the time that he makes his starts, he needs the velocity, right? That allows him to be in the zone with the fastball 65% of the time. That's why he needs the extra gear. He's not afraid to throw it. He ain't a nibbler. He don't want to go on the corners. He wants to aim big because he's throwing hard enough. The deception of the split finger, because it was a little harder tonight. What's that allow him to do? He tunnels it longer. It looks like his fastball. It falls off the plate, allows him again to go a little bit deeper, not having to force the sinker. He only threw 6 of those. Like you mentioned, he only threw 1 slider. The O'Neill sinker that was hit to Mars. That's okay. That's a decent pitch. I don't like the sinker. Stop throwing it to good hitters, but you understand why. He's throwing it when the scoreboard allows him to throw it now, because he had the velocity, because he had the good hard split finger, which allowed him to combine 89 times to throw in those 2 pitches. You score for him in the 3rd inning. You give him a chance to not nibble, attack the zone. This is what it looks like, Jeff.
Jays are 36-43. And I believe they're
about to go in a heater.
6.5 out in the wild card. Or thereabouts.
Well, they're due.
They are due. Brendan in Alberta, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hey, I just wanted to ask you guys what
Edmonton
you're seeing different
never mind this. Edmonton or Calgary?
Well, in between. I'm in Wetaskiwin, which is just south of Edmonton.
So are you an Oiler fan, or?
No, I've lived in Winnipeg for the last 10 years.
Boy, you're like me. You're a Jets fan.
Yeah, we had our hearts crushed way earlier in the year.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It was great watching the Oilers lose, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know. I would have liked to see the Cup come back to Canada, you know.
Okay. Anyhow, let's go on and talk about baseball. Sorry, didn't mean to digress there. Go ahead, please.
Just wondering what you guys are seeing in Vladdy's last 3 games, 7 for his last 14 with 5 extra base hits. And, like, why did it take so long for this front office to start buying into what Spencer Horwitz is doing at the plate? Like, the guy's got an on-base near 500 right now at the big league level. And, like, I'm just, like, when they came in, Ross and Mark had stated so many times, draft and develop waves of talent, draft and develop waves of talent. And you had this kid down there who was owning the AAA level, and you're just like, nah, we're not going to call him up. We're going to invest in these older hitters like Daniel Vogelbach and Justin Turner. And, like, I've got nothing against Turner or Vogelbach personally. I'm just wondering why you're buying into them when you're trying to develop these younger players.
Brendan, that's a great point. I'll pass it over to Kevin about Vladdy Jr. And I think, Kevin, you talked about what you're seeing from Vladdy. Was there a particular turning point for you with Vladdy? Was there a game or an at-bat that comes to your mind where you saw this? Or do you think it's just gradual?
Yeah, look, I think he understands that he has to get a better pitch to hit. You know, I'm sure the conversation with him is consistent with those coaches. Is obviously every time John Snyder comes on our show and I mention Vladdy's name, first thing out of his mouth is get a good pitch to hit, because the talent is. It is. You see, Jeff, like you see when he hits the ball, it's like nobody else.
Yeah.
Like it's just.
Well, I mean, it's just wouldn't like just Tyler O'Neill hit one just as far as he
it's
did.
just the consistency of, you know, what he's swinging at, and if he can get it on the plate a little bit more, I think that's sort of when he starts taking off. And I do think he changes his sights a little bit. Stop trying to pull everything. You know, I think it gets back to if you aim right center, keeps you a little bit more direct, keeps you shorter to the baseball, and forces the ball in the zone, right? The only way I can hit a ball to right center is to actually get the pitch in the zone that I want it in.
Right.
I think that for me is sort of the changing point. And, you know, again, and the Horwitz thing, look in a kid. Like, and to try and answer the question that the caller just presented, I have no idea. Like,
that's hard.
We talked about this forever. I mean, you got a dude down there who knows how to control the strike zone and get on base. And
I'm going to say
looks
this.
to me like he doesn't try as hard as everybody else. Why not call him up? Who knows why they didn't?
I think I have the answer for that. And I'm pretty confident in that. I don't think Spencer Horwitz necessarily fit in with their run prevention mantra. I think they got to a point where they had no choice. But we know that he's not a sure thing at second base, and I really do believe this. You know, the Jays are a process-oriented team, and while you and I may have known in the third game in spring training that their offense wasn't going to be very good, they need to see, you know, they need all the little boxes checked. You know, and they just do. And I really think that was the reason. Is it's not so much that Spencer Horwitz, they knew that he couldn't add something to the lineup. I just don't think they knew where they wanted to play him, because they were concerned about the impact, you know, his defense might have. And they still had Kevin Biggio. So that's what I think. I just think at some point the lack of offense forced their hand.
Yeah, I think the process had to force them into, when the process is not working, you got to pivot and go somewhere else. You're probably right. I mean, that
no, that's just what I think. It seems to make sense, because we heard them all of a sudden stop talking about run prevention.
Yeah, if Kevin Biggio was still here, Horwitz wouldn't be.
Exactly. Deucen and Oshawa.
Hey, guys. First off, just wanted to congratulate the team. It feels good to celebrate with a win. And can I just ask Ross Atkins, for as long as he's here, to, like, test out what he's going to say to the press on his wife? Because I went to my wife with one of the sound bites where she asked me how my weight loss was going. I said, I'm tremendously excited about the process. I just hasn't translated into lost weight.
Did you tell her that your program was powerful? You got to use the word powerful.
I tried, but she wasn't buying it. So the thing is, like, if he could just test this on his wife, I think all of us would be happy. Just say what you think. And the second thing is, just going forward with this team, I just want somebody with multiple experience of different franchises. Like, I think the Cleveland thing, like, they stick to their process all the time, and there's no dissenting opinion. Like, there's someone out there, Kim Ng, who's worked for the Dodgers and the Yankees. Bring her in here. Just keep Shapiro off the field saying, you want to talk about the renovations? Go ahead. You want to talk about the spring training facility? Go ahead. Knock your socks off. But I want someone in here from outside that can kind of look at what this team is doing and maybe change some things. Maybe some things are working, but change some things that aren't. So
appreciate the call, Deucen. I don't think you're in the minority in that regard. Having said that, the Jays won tonight, 9-4.
Yep. I'm all in, Jeff.
I'm all in. Seldom has that George Springer contract looked as good.
Wow.
416-870-0590, star 591, 888-666-0590. We're going to take a break. Hear what the skipper has to say. See if he can remember how to talk after a win. And we'll go back to the phone lines at 416-870-05. Come on, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. 416-870-0590, star 591, 888-666-0590. It's Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're two men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're two men in a truck.
Two men and a truck, the movers who care.
Bring it in, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop-on-the-bandwagon fan. We're the in-it-for-the-long-haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart Deferred Payment Program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
So Blue Jays fans, you want to know about salsa? Salsa is more than dancing. It's more than music. Salsa is the passion and spirit that is at the core of the beautiful cultures of Latin America. The Blue Jays are bringing salsa to the ballpark on June 27th. Be one of the first 15,000 fans in attendance and receive a Blue Jays chip and dip bowl. Celebrate salsa and create core memories with your Blue Jays. It's salsa night. For tickets, visit bluejays.com. Right, Vladdy?
Everybody salsa. Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza. Sportsnet Radio Network.
7 runs in the third inning, hitting around. George Springer, 3 hits, including a home run. Vladdy, a couple of doubles. Bo, his first game in the leadoff spot, back after coming off the IL. Much to Mr. Barker.
Rolls right off the tongue, don't it?
Much to Mr. Barker's chagrin. Again, Barker now we'll go down in history as the guy who called the decision to put Bichette in the leadoff spot, quote, dumb, ... not smart.
Well, you're just going to keep beating that home, aren't you?
Well, Bichette, the catalyst with that walk. And 416-870-0590, star 591, 888-888-666.
It's amazing I've lasted this long with you.
That truly
It really
is. Hey, I want to talk about the because I've got the monitor here, and it's it's hooked up to the truck in Boston, and they're running back the replays and getting everything set right now for Central. That play with Vladdy, we talked about that a little bit off the air. Vladdy's backpedaling, the ball keeps going and going and going and going, and it falls off his glove. Again, you're a first baseman. Describe that play for me.
It's terrifying. Like, obviously he misread it. He didn't expect that. Looked to me like, anyway, maybe the wind was blowing a little bit out to right, and it just caught that ball just right. Had a little backspin to it, I'm sure. And once you start backpedaling like that, standing straight up and down, it's almost impossible to stop and not backpedal anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
it makes sense.
You just got to continue the flow, and hopefully the ball goes in your glove, because the right fielder, once you get going like that, it's very hard for him to call you off and you stop and get out of the way. It's just because you're almost on your heels too much to stop and get out of the way, and that's why you could tell it was very hard for George.
I was going to say,
if you're whether he wanted to call him off.
If you're George on that play and you're charging in and you see that, it really is hard, isn't it, to call it? First of all, I don't know how noisy the crowd was. I don't know if you'd even be able to hear it. But it's awfully hard for George to call him off there at that point, isn't it, once Vladdy's going? Because Vladdy also, I'm sure George is thinking Vladdy must have a pretty good idea. You know what I mean? Your initial thought is he's backing up. So, okay, he's got a read on it. I'm going to let him take it. Oh, hell, he doesn't have a read on it. By that point, it's too late, and you want to avoid a collision.
Yeah, I'm sure you're playing deep if you're George because of who was hitting, and Tyler O'Neill, and it's just, again, you got a good defender in your first baseman. You're thinking he should be able to catch those pop-ups. Obviously, he's misread the pop-up and the wind and whatever the ball's doing, and now he's starting to backpedal, and the faster he starts to backpedal, again, it's very hard to stop and get out of the way. So I think they played it right. Like, it's almost an impossible play, and it's one of those plays where either Vladdy makes it or it's not getting made.
It's not getting made. That's a great point.
Yeah, I just think that's sort of where it's at. So I even the double play, the ball that Vladdy missed, I like that. Vladdy's very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a great arm, and he knows it. He's got two slow runners. The runner that the guy that hit the ball is slow. The guy at first is slow. You're trying to turn the double play. I don't care if you're up 7 runs.
No, I agree.
I mean, for me, I like him side saddling that ball, catch it, turn, and just throw a BB to Bo, and maybe Bo could flip it around. You turn the double play, you get out of it, and maybe that allows your starter to go an extra inning. So it's not sort of Vladdy's fault that ball from a lefty, when he's out and around, hits the ground, kicks up and away from Vladdy. I just like him being aggressive. I always want your defenders to be aggressive no matter what the scoreboard says. So I didn't have a problem with that. I know he didn't make the play. I know it forced a pitcher to have to throw some more pitches, with some higher leverage in it. But I want him to do that. I want everybody to do that, and I was okay with it.
This was Kevin Gausman after the game as he discussed the ending of that 7-game losing streak.
It's been rough, especially yesterday. Yesterday was one of the toughest losses I've experienced over my career, just because of everything that's happened over the 6 days, and that being the 7th yesterday. And so, it was tough, and, my mindset today was to attack and come in, and I was going to give it everything I got. And, our offense just kind of came out there and willed their way to winning that game. So that definitely made it a lot easier for me out there. It's been tough, we've all kind of had to pick each other up. Some guys, some days are really just down, and other guys, are feeling happy that day, got to pick that guy up. And so we've done a good job of staying close as a team, not letting, any outside sources kind of get into our clubhouse. And so, really all we can control is what we can do, and that's go out there and try to win every game. And, obviously the last week has been tough, and, it was a very happy group of guys in there.
That is Kevin Gausman, who a couple of starts ago, you You said he called out the rest of the team. I thought you were a little strong in that, but he certainly.
He said it in a nice way.
Yeah.
Do your damn job. That's what he said. Basically, It's okay.
But in a nice way. No,
they're grown-ups. Yeah, they can take it.
Dave in Vancouver Island, or more importantly, I guess more accurately, Dave on Vancouver Island. I think. How you doing?
Gentlemen. Oh, so great. Hey, just a pleasure. Long-time listener, first-time caller. And I was so excited to be able to call in and have an opportunity to talk about a win. I mean, I think that was the vibe when you guys opened up, and let's stay positive. Because obviously I would love to call in and give insights to all of the negativity around so many bad decisions. But why not celebrate the good, right?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I mean, believe me, I'm ready to... I'm ready to hit the bottle when I get home tonight to celebrate this one.
Although, Mr. Barker, you may have a hard time getting a good night's sleep tonight because of that bad prediction. Like, maybe this is the one time you don't get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, that was a shameful prediction. It was John's lineup being dumb. ... not smart. That was shameful.
No, I said one guy in one spot's dumb. That's what I said.
That was
then
shameful.
I think my words were put him second, leave Vladdy third, and whatever else you want to do, who cares?
Yeah.
When we came back from the break and I heard you guys run the stats on the hits, I'm out here with the new property trying to do a little landscaping, so listening via radio. I'm actually excited to go inside tonight and watch the highlight reel. Like, nice. I've kind of given up on it the last couple of nights and just thought, well, that's not even worth reviewing, having listened on the radio to a loss. So, there's a lot of positivity going. And you can hear it in the measured comments from Coach, and you can hear it in the excitement in Gauzy's voice. Like, there's some positivity in the room, and I think that's going to continue to build. And, gosh, we sure hope it does. Right?
Absolutely. Dave.
I forgot, after hearing all those great comments, I forgot that what I really wanted to say was that Chad Green was phenomenal, I thought. And as much as we're approaching Canada Day and we have a real domestic nostalgia for Jordan Romano while he's on the recovery, I like to look at Chad Green, a seasoned veteran in there to close that out. Oh, it looked good. He didn't get the save, but he deserved one.
Dave, appreciate the call, man, and continued success. And are you landscaping or building? He's gone?
He gone. Yeah.
I just imagine Dave building a nice log house in Vancouver Island. Mm-hmm. Barker, I mean, that would be your territory.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nice and mellow.
Good for him.
Nice and mellow, and he's got the house being built, and it's a beautiful property, and it's probably looking over the water.
Winning's fun, Jeff. Yeah.
It is. Chad Green. I mean, based on what we hear about, or I guess more accurately, don't hear about Jordan Romano, this looks like, and I really haven't heard much about Jimmy Garcia, and I may have missed something. But Chad Green is going to have to shoulder the load through these tough run of games. It looks, the Red Sox and then the Yankees coming up. What's your confidence level in him?
My confidence level's higher with Trevor Richards. I think that's. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's earned sort of that changeup plays, man.
Did you run him out there as a closer?
Let me rephrase that. That's the hybrid guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like whenever you need him to come in and put the fire out, that's when I want.
Yeah.
Like don't give him an inning. I think Chad Green with the history of injuries and sort of the routine and being that guy it seems to me like anyway that sort of needs that one inning or somewhere around that one inning to where he can mentally, physically, mechanically just get ready, fired up, and do whatever he has to do to get ready to throw that inning. So, yeah, I mean, Chad, as long as it's more 94, 95, 96 than 93s, and he doesn't throw it down the middle, I think he'd be okay. I mean, I'm sure they'll be careful with him and, try and put him in the right pocket. Hopefully he gets up there and gets it done and it'd be demoralizing if not, right? The way they've been fighting and clawing, you can hear it in Kevin's voice, just – don't let the Blair and Barker show inside our clubhouse. It's like,
I mean, I don't think he was necessary.
That's not what he said.
He might have been referring to you, not me.
He might have been. That's for sure.
He could have been referring to you. I, of course, have been unwavering in my optimism and support for this particular operation.
Every once in a while, Well, every once in a while you make that much money and you're not living up to it. You got to wear it. And that's, sort of, I think, where they're at. And it's good. It's good to see, I think, as hard as, because they are working hard. I mean,
and nobody doubts, nobody doubts that these guys are working hard. You can work as hard as you want. If the talent's not there, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It
sure helps. It's just amazing how much better this lineup looks when Vladdy's doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, listen, absolutely.
Just their team, the feel, just the way you want to watch it as a fan, man, it just looks different. Feels different.
Yariel Rodriguez gets a start tomorrow. Your expectations for Yariel Rodriguez,
Jeff,
and if you're Bowden Francis, are you like
I'd
standing
get loose
by?
About the second inning.
Yeah, I was going to say
Jeff,
you might be getting loose right now.
You got any bag of candles that you hadn't used in a while?
You mean who did I use to bring the candles out for?
The Dickey, R.A. Dickey.
R.A. Dickey, the R.A. Dickey candles. No, I don't. I'll have to find them. This might be a year where I bring out the candles. This might be a year.
Tomorrow.
I don't know.
If you got them, find them. Let's use them.
It's a little early. It's a little early.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what I'd like to say is between the last start and this one, that he could fix fastball command. I think that's where I don't really care if he's got a bazillion pitches if he can't throw his fastball where he wants to throw it. That's where it starts this level, and then you sort of do whatever you want to do with all the other stuff. So hopefully he can come out tomorrow and do that. He's gonna have to against all them lefties. They're gonna run about 7 of them lefties out there. You're gonna have to locate it up and in, down and away. Up and in, down and away.
I've been waiting for this caller. I didn't think he'd call up tonight.
Uh-oh.
Gary in Vancouver. What's up, Gary? We're not firing everybody tonight now, are we?
What's that?
We're not firing everybody tonight, are we?
Not yet.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was just telling your producer, and by the way, he's a real nice guy. Don't fire him. He's fine just the way he is.
Really? You think so? I mean,
I do think so.
Okay. I guess.
He was there, and he asked me. He wanted to make sure I was talking okay, so he's fine. No, yeah. I wanted to say something.
Yes.
By the way, I wanted also to congratulate the Panthers on the Stanley Cup win, and also Connor McDavid getting the
I don't want to.
I wanted to get that out there. So
there you go.
But what I want, the main thing is this: George Springer has had a real tough time of it. He is a professional. He's one of my favorite ball players for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. He had a great ball game today. I'm not saying that it was an ugly game. 3 errors on Boston, 2 errors on ours, but that doesn't matter. Bottom line, he got a few hits. I love the fact that he always has a smile on his face. And I tell you something, if there was a guy that was going to be going to the All-Star game, defensive-wise, he'd be it. Not Vladdy. George Springer. That's it. Nobody's fired today.
Attaboy. Take care, Gary. Whew.
Wow.
I was worried because,
Yeah.
I thought he might want to get rid of one of us. Nice, though. He gave Show the vote of confidence. Show Alley, Tom Young, the two guys behind the glass. They're both doing yeoman
Well, they've
work.
earned it, Jeff.
Well, they have earned it. They have earned it. They have earned it. Tom's actually got it. And Tom and Show, they actually have to watch the games while they're going on because they've got work to do in game. Whereas I was watching a little soccer, went for a little walk, went to get some coffee, went to get an ice cream cone. I can move away every now and then. Here's the thing with George Springer. I think we're on the same page. George Springer's not going to earn his $25 million. That is a bad contract. Yada, yada, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's going nowhere. I don't think they're going to swallow that contract. If George Springer can play really good defense, which he does, and if he can just do now, I'd like to see him a little lower than the 4th or 5th in the lineup, but if he could just kind of be in the 7th spot, play great defense, and give me whatever he can give me, I'll take it. I'll take a double. I'll take a double. A double every 2 games. I'm a happy man. Play great defense. Give me a double every 2 games.
I think driving runs. That's the one thing I think. It's not how many you get; it's when you get them. I think that's for me.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. And again, it'll help a little bit if Bo gets hot and Vladdy stays hot, right? You could sort of look over what other guys are not doing. That's what we've been waiting for all year. We've been waiting for this Vladdy to be consistent and do special things to baseballs, and for Bo to get a bazillion hits. And hopefully Bo can figure out whatever Bo's going through and start doing that. And again, I just don't know how I feel about the offense for George. Again, it looks to me like because he is having to cheat a little to velocity is why everybody's throwing in breaking balls. That's what you do, right? When you see a dude open up the front side, you flip it to him, right? That way they're missing and they miss big. But tonight it just seems like he was landing a little bit closed, shoulder stayed square. The direction of the barrel was headed more towards right field than towards the shortstop, and that will bode well. That will help him maybe get a big hit when he needs to get it.
Play great defense. Give me the odd hit. I'm happy.
There you go.
There's nothing we can do. Nothing we can do about the contract, folks. Just hope there's a contribution every night. 9-4, the Toronto Blue Jays have beaten the Boston Red Sox. They'll go at it again tomorrow night. We'll be back with Blue Jays talk following tomorrow night's game. Thank you for listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Yarmouth and Middleton, Nova Scotia. Protect your...
This has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app. Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game.
It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet. Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is bedlam in the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made a play.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
A ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on SiriusXM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play. 4.
Get up. Get up.
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow. Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the SiriusXM app.
MLB schedule for Tuesday, June the 25th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:35 p.m. Baltimore Orioles take on the Cleveland Guardians. Orioles on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 842. Guardians on Internet 847. 6:40 p.m. Detroit Tigers take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Tigers on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 849. Phillies on Internet 860. 6:50 p.m. Tampa Bay Rays take on the Seattle Mariners. Rays on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 866. Mariners on Internet 864. 7:10 p.m. Boston Red Sox face the Toronto Blue Jays. Red Sox on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 843. Blue Jays on Internet 868. 7:10 p.m. New York Mets face the New York Yankees. Mets on Sirius 119, XM 180, and Internet 857. Yankees on Internet 858. 7:10 p.m. Cincinnati Reds face the Pittsburgh Pirates. Reds on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 846. Pirates on Internet 861. 7:45 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals face the Atlanta Braves. Cardinals on Sirius 137, XM 181, and Internet 865. Braves on Internet 841. 8:10 p.m. Kansas City Royals take on the Miami Marlins. Royals on Sirius 161, XM 184, and Internet 851. Marlins on Internet 854. 8:10 p.m., Chicago White Sox face the LA Dodgers. White Sox on Sirius 138, XM 182 and Internet 845. Dodgers on Internet 853. Spanish feed on Internet 870. 8:10 p.m. Houston Astros take on the Colorado Rockies. Astros on Sirius 139, XM 183 and Internet 850. Rockies on Internet 848. 8:10 p.m. Milwaukee Brewers take on the Texas Rangers. Brewers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 855. Rangers on Internet 867. Spanish feed on Sirius 160, XM 185 and Internet 871. 9:38 p.m. LA Angels take on the Oakland A's. Angels on Sirius 162, XM 186 and Internet 852. A's on Internet 859. 9:40 p.m. San Diego Padres take on the Washington Nationals. Padres on Sirius 85, XM 188 and Internet 862. Nationals on Internet 869. 9:40 p.m. Arizona Diamondbacks take on the Minnesota Twins. Diamondbacks on Sirius 158, XM 187 and Internet 840. Twins on Internet 856. 9:45 p.m. San Francisco Giants take on the Chicago Cubs. Giants on Sirius 132, XM 189 and Internet 863. Cubs on Internet 844. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM sports schedule for Tuesday, June the 25th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the Copa America, 6 p.m., Peru faces Canada on SiriusXM and Internet channels 83. 9 p.m., Chile takes on Argentina on SiriusXM and Internet channels 83. In the Euros, noon, France takes on Poland on SiriusXM and Internet channels 83. Noon, Netherlands faces Austria on SiriusXM and Internet channels 157. 3 p.m., England faces Slovenia on SiriusXM and Internet channels 83. 3 p.m., Denmark takes on Serbia on SiriusXM and Internet channels 83. In Major League Baseball, 6:35 p.m., Baltimore Orioles take on the Cleveland Guardians. Orioles on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 842. Guardians on Internet 847. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Tuesday, June the 25th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:35 p.m., Baltimore Orioles take on the Cleveland Guardians. Orioles on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 842. Guardians on Internet 847. 6:40 p.m., Detroit Tigers take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Tigers on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 849. Phillies on Internet 860.
The PGA Tour comes to life on SiriusXM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, SiriusXM 92.
The MLB was at Rickwood Field paying a tribute to the Negro Leagues with a game between the St. Louis Cardinals and the San Francisco Giants, and Steve Phillips was on MLB Network Radio to talk about the memorable event.
I'm so grateful that the rest of the baseball world is getting a chance to understand Negro League baseball, the quality of the play, the quality of the people, what they had to endure, and the stories being told. It's just, and even former players that, recently played, it was such an emotional night last night. And the gratitude to be able to share the gratitude for their lives, which is, listen, what any baseball player is living now, compared to baseball players of the past is extraordinary. What black baseball players today get to experience is so different than the Negro League players from back in the day. And, to be able to thank them and to be around them and to share the stories and the love of the game, it's just, you could feel the energy and the emotion of it all. I think it's such a tremendous event yesterday. And look, sequels are hard. They can have more games there. It's sort of like the Field of Dreams game. You can go back and play again. It won't be as emotional as this one because it was Willie Mays. It was the first time, the story, all of it. But an extraordinary job by Major League Baseball.
SiriusXM has soccer covered end to end. SiriusXM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's SiriusXM FC on Channel 157.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Tuesday, June the 25th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:35 p.m., Baltimore Orioles take on the Cleveland Guardians. Orioles on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 842. Guardians on Internet 847. 6:40 p.m. Detroit Tigers take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Tigers on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 849. Phillies on Internet 860. 6:50 p.m. Tampa Bay Rays take on the Seattle Mariners. Rays on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 866. Mariners on Internet 864. 7:10 p.m. Boston Red Sox face the Toronto Blue Jays. Red Sox on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 843. Blue Jays on Internet 868. 7:10 p.m. New York Mets face the New York Yankees. Mets on Sirius 119, XM 180, and Internet 857. Yankees on Internet 858. 7:10 p.m. Cincinnati Reds face the Pittsburgh Pirates. Reds on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 846. Pirates on Internet 861. 7:45 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals face the Atlanta Braves. Cardinals on Sirius 137, XM 181, and Internet 865. Braves on Internet 841. 8:10 p.m. Kansas City Royals take on the Miami Marlins. Royals on Sirius 161, XM 184, and Internet 851. Marlins on Internet 854. 8:10 p.m. Chicago White Sox face the LA Dodgers. White Sox on Sirius 138, XM 182, and Internet 845. Dodgers on Internet 853. Spanish feed on Internet 870. 8:10 p.m. Houston Astros take on the Colorado Rockies. Astros on Sirius 139, XM 183, and Internet 850. Rockies on Internet 848. 8:10 p.m. Milwaukee Brewers take on the Texas Rangers. Brewers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 855. Rangers on Internet 867. Spanish feed on Sirius 160, XM 185, and Internet 871. 9:38 p.m. LA Angels take on the Oakland A's. Angels on Sirius 162, XM 186, and Internet 852. A's on Internet 859. 9:40 p.m. San Diego Padres take on the Washington Nationals. Padres on Sirius 85, XM 188, and Internet 862. Nationals on Internet 869. 9:40 p.m. Arizona Diamondbacks take on the Minnesota Twins. Diamondbacks on Sirius 158, XM 187, and Internet 840. Twins on Internet 856. 9:45 p.m. San Francisco Giants take on the Chicago Cubs. Giants on Sirius 132, XM 189, and Internet 863. Cubs on Internet 844. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM sports schedule for Tuesday, June the 25th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest.